Tonight's episode of the Tuesday Night Cigar Club is brought to you by Drew Estate. You can visit www.drewestate.com. Experience the subculture that is the rebirth of cigars. www.drewestate.com.
Suckers!
Good evening, brothers and sisters of the Leaf. Coming to you live from the corner of No Hope, it's the Tuesday Night Cigar Club podcast. Tonight, the boys soak in the Corey-tastic 2018 Lifetime Channel movie, A Tale of Two Corys, as they smoke the Serpentine cigar from Isabela Cigar Company, paired with pint after Coryific pint of Two-Hearted Ale from Bell's Brewery. Two Corys, Two-Hearted Ale, a stogie with two different wrappers. Sounds like our favorite crew of drunken numbnuts are going to have too much of a good time tonight. Yeah, I said it. So sit back, folks, light 'em up, and enjoy the show.
I was listening to the news on the way out here earlier, and I was driving around the truck. They were talking about the porn star who supposedly got paid off to keep her mouth shut about
Stormy
Daniels screwing Trump before I guess he paid her off during the election. I'm guessing Stormy Daniels is her stage name. I don't think her parents were that prophetic.
Wasn't there a Stormy Daniels that was a quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals once?
Different Stormy Daniels.
Okay.
No, this one starred in such hits as Goodwill Humping
Yes.
and Operation Desert Stormy. But she said she had sex with Donald soon after
I'm telling you, the cinematography on Goodwill Humping was actually pretty phenomenal.
It was cinema verite, very real, in your face.
It was very much in your face.
It was in her face. God. But no, I guess she had supposedly had sex with him soon after the birth of his youngest son. So while he was married to his current wife, Melania, obviously. And I guess the Wall Street Journal found some bank records where he paid her off $100,000 or something to keep her mouth shut about it. Ironic, since usually she's paid to open
keeping
her
mouth open. Yeah. Bad investment.
Anyway, blah blah blah. That's not the part of the story that caught my interest. Check this out. Last weekend, Stormy kicked off her "Make America Horny Again" tour in Greenville, South Carolina, dancing at a local strip club. Now that got my noodle going. Not that noodle, this noodle.
Is she coming to the great state of Texas anytime? I'm asking for a friend.
Well, I think we'll be doing a live broadcast at that if it comes our way.
Make America horny again.
Make America horny again. Do you guys think America's any less horny perhaps now than it was 5 or 10 years ago?
Thanks,
Thanks, Obama.
It's definitely more Puritan.
Doctor, is there any recent medical research on the levels of horniness dropping?
Actually,
My God, Mr. Kate, I think we used to be so much hornier as a people.
Really?
Yes.
I
think horniness has declined.
I have to agree with the doctor. I do remember seeing a medical piece.
So Stormy's gone to something here.
Yes. We used to be so much hornier.
Well, I too think Stormy may be
People
right.
were drinking more and having a good time.
Well, I'll admit, her shaking her big ass across the continental United States could potentially help solve our horniness problem. Crisis, perhaps, from the way you guys are talking. It's worth a shot, but I have another possible solution. Hear me out. Have you guys seen those Taco Bell commercials for the late night $5 Cravings box?
No.
$5, you get a 5-layer burrito, cinnamon twists, a crunchy taco, a cheesy gordita crunch, whatever the fuck that is, and a giant Mountain Dew for $5. I think maybe I forgot something like a quesalupa or a beefy potato Rito or something. Anyway,
quesalupa?
Follow me on this. You're headed to the house after a late night at the office. You've been putting in a long day at work. And you're hungry, so you don't want to make your wife, fix you something when you get home, or you're too tired. So you stop in at Taco Bell. You pick up one of these convenient $5 Bow Busters. Then you go home to your amorous significant other who's been waiting in the bedroom for you to get it on when you get home. You think you're going to be horny after eating that shit?
No.
Nobody is. Nobody's going to proudly showcase your sexual skills after wolfing down a fucking quesalupa, or God forbid a cheesy gordita crunch back to back.
I think that with long day at the office and amorous partner waiting at home, I am unable to relate to this in any way.
So are we going to be able to take a break so I can actually go to Taco Bell because you've been talking about it so much? I'm hungry now.
You lose the insanely inexpensive and insanely stupidly named Taco Bell items, and America's horniness level is going to go through the roof.
Now, easy up, because I don't want to lose the chance at the Taco Bell money.
Your wives and your toilets will thank me. Am I right?
Yes.
That's my new butt diet plan for 2018, by the way. I don't eat anything with a ridiculous name, and I've already lost 12 pounds. But yes, if 4 hours from now one of you guys put a beefy Rito potato quesalupa in front of me, I would devour it.
What was the food item from Grosse Pointe Blank? I left my heart in San Francisco.
I can't promise I'll be strong after
Can't stop
midnight.
eating moons over my hammy from Denny's, and the guy has never been in better shape.
Let's work together, guys, to make America horny again.
But really, is that the kind of life we want to leave, where we don't eat moons over my hammy?
I'm afraid it's far too early to tell.
According to my doctor, no, it's not. I need to stop doing that.
And yes, to answer your question, if Taco Bell...
Oh, crap. I'm sorry.
According to your doctor.
I got a second opinion.
According to your doctor.
I got a second opinion.
You're right, Tud. If Taco Bell approaches us to be a sponsor on the show, then it'll be this hour of the Tuesday Night Cigar Club podcast brought to you by the quesalupa and the beefy potato Rito.
And you are wise to get a second opinion on anything I say.
Cody, eat that Dorito omelet. Oh, jeez. America. There's nobody else like this.
You gonna listen to the doctor? He's eating that Wisconsin butter burger, for Christ's sake.
There's no meat. It's just butter and bud.
Plain and dry. That's how I like them.
Nothing dry about Stormy Daniels. Welcome, everybody, to the Tuesday Night Cigar Club, episode 66.
66.
Where we make America hornier every other Tuesday night. Just by opening our mouths. That didn't sound right.
No.
That sounded terrible.
I don't support that at all.
You should.
I won't.
And that's as political as we're going to get on tonight's show.
I don't know. You've got me thinking about the Make America Horny thing, and
I wish that she had those hats we could wear.
I think she actually did
Is
make
she
the
selling
hats.
the hats?
I think she has to be.
maybe some people are afraid to be horny these days.
Listeners, if you care about us, you'll purchase 4 Make America Horny Again hats and send them to the Corner of No Hope, care of the Tuesday Night Cigar Club.
I'd wear that shit every day.
Oh, yeah. Does this seem a little bit different here to you guys tonight? Notice anything different?
We've got walls.
No, we've always had walls.
Oh, okay.
Those are the things we hold when we're getting up after
that's right.
the show.
Yes.
No, you guys are sitting among a non-self-declared cigar expert now.
Oh, God.
If you happen to look at the internet yesterday, there's a pretty viral...
I was, but I was trying to make myself horny.
How'd that go?
I'm starting to get this pain in my left arm.
If you go to our Facebook page, there'll be a link. I'm going to probably have to put it on our news page of the website. The online retailer who's actually opening up a brick and mortar here soon, Best Cigar Prices, they reached out to, as they said, 11 of the most popular cigar reviewers, bloggers in the entire universe, who have the most experienced cigar palates in the world, according to them. And,
I have to say, you were amongst good company.
Yours truly was asked the ultimate question: why do you smoke cigars? And I'm not going to tell you what I said. I want you to go to our website and check it out for yourself, or better yet, join our Facebook page.
Yeah, I was about to say,
right
I don't think it's up on the website yet, is it?
No, go to Facebook.
Yeah, go to Facebook. Oh, it'll be there by the time you hear this, though.
Well, I don't know. I'm planning on getting some Taco Bell tonight, and I'll be useless for at least 3 days.
That is true.
I guess I could take the laptop into the John with me, but well, we'll see. That and would make no one horny.
No.
I'm gonna cross that off the list here. But it was cool to be asked. And
that was really cool.
And there were some.
I give you a lot of crap about it, but it was still.
There were some guys much more with much more history in the industry that I was lumped in there with.
It was nice to see a representative up there with that crew.
Well, I only did it to get our name out there. You know my ego. I'm not big on praise and accolades. But don't look at me.
What?
Don't look
Wait,
at me. Don't look at
I'm
me
sorry,
like,
I zoned out.
look at me like that.
I went to my happy place real quick. That was really weird. I haven't experienced that since I was 13 years old.
It was a very cool little thing to be asked to do. So go check that out. They asked me to do it. I can at least give them a little plug on the show. Speaking of little plugs, Stormy Daniels will be performing. No, she didn't pay us. I'm not giving you those tour dates. And I don't know if she's taking certain plugs on the road with her.
But Stormy, if you did want to pay us, we would definitely pitch you.
I would gladly accept Stormy Daniels as a sponsor on the show.
Exactly. I mean,
get Fritz to do a version of Stormy Weather. I like it.
Or any song with the Charlie Daniels Band.
Fritz toured with the Charlie Daniels Band back in the 90s. Said he was a nice guy.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
I've seen a little picture with Fritz in a cowboy hat with Charlie with his arms around him. It's good stuff. Maybe I'll put that up on our Facebook page.
That'd be pretty
All the more
cool.
reason for you to go and join the Tuesday Night Cigar Club's Facebook page. We are here in the Corner of Hope, our second episode of the new year. Feeling good. What do? We smoke cigars, we drink, and we talk about a movie. So let me introduce the cigar. Let's get to it. Tonight's cigar is the Serpentine by Isabela Cigar Company. I believe it's our second barber pole we've had on the show. We did the Filthy Hooligan.
That is correct.
Green Candela barber pole for St. Patty's Day a couple years ago. This is a 6x54 Bellicoso. The wrapper, 2 wrappers, obviously. It is a barber pole cigar. 2 wrappers. See how that fits into our theme tonight? Two-Hearted Beer, a 2 Corey movie. They are the Ecuadorian De Florada Connecticut wrapper and the Ecuadorian Habano Maduro, which I don't see that a lot. It's either a Habano or a Maduro.
Yeah.
But that's what what I learned. I didn't learn this from them. I'll tell you about that in a minute. The binder is a Nicaraguan Tiempo, Nicaraguan filler. From the Isabela website, all I got was this: it features timeless twisting transitions of explosive flavor profiles, hints of habanero, nutmeg, caramel, and ancho chilies, rolled by one of 4 master Cuban rollers in extremely limited release.
Hints of chilies. That's interesting.
One of 4 master Cuban rollers?
Uh-huh.
What does that mean? A dude from Cuba rolled this?
That's what I took it as, yes. They rolled in Cuba, and then they escaped, and now
there's only 4 of them?
There's only 4 of these guys doing these things.
Okay.
But listen, the website, as I'm getting to, didn't really reveal much. So to get more information, I was led by the Isabela representative to go to another cigar review site, to their review of the cigar, to get specifics on the components of the cigar and whatnot.
I don't read the script. Script reads me.
Why couldn't they just give me the specs? Did they want me to be influenced by the positive review that this guy wrote?
That's probably what it was.
Which I didn't. I never read reviews of cigars before we do them. We'll never know the answer to these questions, but I did get just the basics that I needed. And I'm certainly not going to divulge that review site. We don't get paid to
pitch your stuff.
I don't hear you talking about us.
Unless you want to pay us to pitch your stuff, and I'll do it.
Well, I'm sure you can find it if you're a internet savvy person at home. Anyway, I don't read reviews, so that's not going to influence anything. The only thing I did pick up worth mentioning is this. Apparently, the Serpentine uses a sugar-based binding sealant on the cap. This was mainly used in the olden days. It's not sweetened. It's just instead of the vegetable-based adhesive most cigars use, they do use a sugar-based. So it's not a sweetened cigar, and apparently it's just used on the adhesive on the cap. But apparently, after a few puffs, it's not even noticeable. I actually smoked one prior to the show to do pictures for the website, and I didn't really pick up much of anything. So it's worth mentioning. If you get a super sweetness on the front end, it probably won't last, and that's what's causing it. And that's all I got.
Oh yeah, that was sweet.
That's really all I have on this.
Is it just me, or does it have just a slight green? Or is that just me? I think it's just me.
Well, the Connecticut is a very dark shade Connecticut.
I don't really see green.
I know. I
guess
don't
it's just
see
me.
green. It's got a very like Miami kind of looking band. It's got like palm trees and the Isabela logo on there.
Wait, I see Crockett in the background.
There's Tubbs and Crockett.
And there's a 1985 Lamborghini.
There's a smuggler's boat.
There's some guys playing high-lie in the background. It all works out.
Kind of firm to the squeeze. You know what? I got a little bit of sweetness just on the cold.
I'm curious to see if I get the ancho or habanero chilies off of this.
Let us know, Doc.
I'm glad you told me about the sugar-based deal, because otherwise I'd have been like, man, they sweeten this thing.
It's a sweet adhesive, and supposedly it'll dissipate here shortly.
Todd and I both agreed on a hay barnyard kind of
big time barnyard,
essence.
big time barnyard on the aroma. Really, I can't get anything on the cold draw other than that.
That's not just because of all the many summer camp evenings we spent in the barnyard together back in our youth.
You can tell me about that later. I thought you guys just met a few years ago.
That's what we wanted everyone to believe.
Did you pay him hush money, Stormy Daniels style?
It's far too early to tell.
I just actually started going to a psychiatrist, and he brought back a whole hell of a lot of things to the surface.
Well, I turned out to be the psychiatrist, so it really didn't work out for you at all.
You get what you pay for. Let me take a moment here to mention the Undercrown Sun-Grown cigar from our friends at Drew Estate. We featured it back on episode 59 last year, and ended up being our number 9 on our top 10 cigars of 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Featuring a delicious Ecuadorian sun-grown Sumatra wrapper, this cigar has quickly become a current favorite of mine, as well as Yak Boy. I know you love it.
Love it. Absolutely.
God, it's a good smoke. So get out there to your local retailers and pick up a handful. You won't regret it. You can learn more about the Undercrown Sun-Grown at www.drewestate.com. Real quick, we of course are going to be pairing this with a beer. But real quick, Yak Boy, what are we drinking in these smaller non-pint glasses?
In these smaller non-pint glasses is actually whiskey. Whiskey.
Tell us about this whiskey.
Just good old whiskey.
It's very sweet in a good way.
Sweet, but I'm getting.
Ooh, very sweet.
Yeah.
I don't say if I would call it necessarily a bitter finish, but
I'm getting like sweetness and a little bit of honey.
It's very sweet on the front.
Yeah,
this is the Cask and Crew Rye Whiskey.
Okay.
From Rochester, New York.
God dang it.
For science.
For science.
The rye is that's what it reminded me of. Is
Get you
like
a
an
nice
old
little-
school rye of a Jim Beam. I mean, not it's higher quality, but that's what
I believe this is a rye blend.
It's actually a mix, 51% Canadian rye and 49% Kentucky corn mash.
We were sent this by a loyal listener, Mr. Rev Java, good
Hey,
friend,
Rev.
good friend of the show. What's up, Rev? It was a nice little Christmas gift. We thought no time like the present to crack this open. Actually, the beer was a little late getting here tonight, so we had to drink something. We could sit around and talk to each other sober. I really
God
like it.
forbid.
It's pretty good. It's very new.
So this is
it-
actually just a what is the name of the place in Rochester? I'm sorry.
It's the Cask and Crew is the brand. It's actually bottled by a Ledestri. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that. Ledestri Bottling. It's very new. It does say that it's been aged 3 years as to qualify as whiskey, but I mean it only just started coming out here about a little over a year ago.
Okay.
This bottle is the fourth batch. The very first batch was only 7,500 bottles. So, I mean, it's very small.
7 people went blind. I did read about
thanks
that.
to Rev for sending
No,
it to
they
us because it is not in this area. It's only in the Northeast. Still pretty much.
You mean I'm drinking Yankee whiskey?
Yes.
But it's made from Southern whiskey. No, Canadian whiskey.
Canadian. Well, now, there's a little bit of difference here in when you call something Kentucky bourbon. Canadian rye basically just refers to any whiskey made in Canada.
Yeah.
They don't really have that kind of designation here where it's
Got it.
broken down by region or state. So, I mean, like, the best equivalent, of course, is a Crown blended Canadian.
Yeah.
And technically, this is a blend, but it's not
The whiskey
same
of the
thing.
20-year-old.
Right. This is actually a mix between two styles of whiskey.
Half Canadian, half Yankee. Oh, man. My great-great-grandfather, the Colonel Beauregard, would be so disappointed.
He would, but here's to you, Colonel Beauregard.
By Danny Hosers. Well, Rev is actually lives in Rochester. So,
Yes, he does.
This is right down the street from him, and he spoke highly of it. And
I give you Yankees crap. That's a mighty fine whiskey.
It is a good whiskey. I'm enjoying it.
It is very sweet. Like I said, I'm just on the back side. I'm just
It does
It's a
have a
little
little, it does
bitter.
have a little touch of
But
bitter,
the
and I don't
doctor's
mind
right.
that. I don't mind that.
That back end is very. It's got that rye whiskey has that kind of sharp back end, that George Dickel, if you will.
The
Well,
what?
thank the Rev like a Southerner. Rev, thank you, boy.
Thank the Rev. I'll think of myself.
I shall sing for him.
Was Dickel a rye?
Carry me.
I believe it was.
Yeah, I used to drink quite a bit.
Oh,
Of,
George Dickel.
I used to drink quite a bit of George Dickel.
A lot of Dickel in here.
Rochester
Dickel.
races 5 miles long. Doo-dah, doo-dah.
Let's make America Dickel again.
No, we want to make it horny again.
I'm sorry. Now I've got like one of my favorite NASCAR racing names of all time, Dick Trickle, in my head.
I was going to say Taco Bell should do a Dickel Rita.
They have.
They already have the
Two Dickel-Lupas for me and
They
my
already have
friends.
the
Speaking
Dickel-Lupas.
of,
ground
welcome
beef
to our new
soaked in
sponsor,
bourbon.
Taco Bell, and you can get the Dickel Rita.
It's
like
a
the-
Dorito soaked in bourbon, topped with cheese.
Go on.
Put inside a Wisconsin Butterburger.
And the FDA just shut us down.
Oh my God.
Okay, well, we also, of course, have a beer. What beer are we drinking?
We are doing as to follow our theme of a double. As
Hey, I
got
just
our-
realized something. Our second episode of the year.
Ugh.
Two wrapper cigar.
Oh my God! Look at the time. I got to get out of here. It's so
Two
so
wits
late.
between the four of us? You're onto something here.
What are we drinking? What is this beer?
We are doing Bell's Brewing, the Two-Hearted Ale. As is from their own, it is defined by its intense hop aroma and malt balance, hopped exclusively with the Centennial hop variety from the Pacific Northwest. Massive additions in the kettle and again in the fermenter lend their characteristic grapefruit and pine resin aromas. A significant malt body balances the hop presence together with the signature fruity aromas of Bell's house yeast. This leads to a remarkably drinkable American-style India Pale Ale.
Did you make that up on your own?
No, this is
Oh, I was going to say, that was very well written.
I take from. This is what the way they describe it. We should start with that before we just get.
I'm getting hops and grapefruit off the first
It
beer.
is fruity, but not in a bad way.
Nope.
Normally,
No.
fruity
I
is
like
not
this
a good
beer.
thing in beer for me.
I was a
I'm-
little hesitant with tonight's beer when you picked it, Yakboy, because we did have the Bell's on previously, the Bell's Porter.
Yes.
Which we all pretty much shit on.
Yeah.
It was not. I don't know.
It was boring.
Literally.
It was
I've
boring.
had Bell's on.
Shit on it.
Had Bell's on draft, and I really liked it. And the bottle was not. It didn't taste the same.
flat and boring.
Wow.
Wasn't a fan.
Cody, what were you saying about the homebrew thing earlier?
Bell actually Larry Bell is the founder of Bell's Brewing. He started out as a home brew supply back in the early 80s, 1983. And he went on and started brewing commercially in 85. And his company has since grown and grown and grown. And they have slowly but surely now getting in and distributing their beer into all 50 states. They just came into Texas.
Yeah, I've seen
last
them quite a bit.
This beer actually, for the American Homebrew Association's Zimmergy, I'm not sure I pronounced that correctly, Zimmergy magazine listed this as its 2017 best beer in America.
Okay. I will say it's a really good beer. I like it.
Oh, and for the technicals, its ABV is 7% and has about a 55 IBU. So it's not
super bitter.
No. It's a very pretty beer as well.
Mm-hmm.
You said I got that little bit of sweetness right off the top there.
Man, you get a lot of citrus on that.
Oh yeah,
on that nose.
They're not kidding about the grapefruit.
I really like that. Well, it's really depending on the week, I like that. It seems. Next week I'll be like, oh, this is the worst thing I've ever had. But right now, it's doing mighty fine.
I'm really liking it. So.
Me too, Doctor. You?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I guess we can light up.
Sure.
Should I smoke this like Corey? Fell Dog? No, not that. No.
You're holding it kind of.
Well, have you ever seen Corey Feldman smoke a cigarette? It's really, really weird.
Well, all right. The cat's out of the bag.
Oh no! Stop.
Well, we are. We started off last year with. Remember, I was going to do all the Corey movies last year, and then we gave up after like 2 of them.
Thank God. I mean, that's
what we did. We did Malibu.
We did Blown Away.
And
South Beach Academy.
And then we abandoned that project, like we do all things.
There's far you can do those for years. There's
Well,
a large body of work there.
When I promised these guys it was funny. At the end of You Weren't Here, Doctor, we did a pretty disturbing film last episode, and I jokingly said, I promise Tut we'll do a Lifetime or a Hallmark made-for-TV movie next to cleanse our souls after the last film. And when I saw A Tale of Two Coreys premiering on the Lifetime channel, I was like, guess what? We're actually going to do a Lifetime movie. It's a biopic about the two Coreys, Corey Feldman, Corey Haim. Granted, apparently a lot of the things Tuttle had issues with in our previous film.
Apparently,
I was wondering how I was going to segue this. Do I need to wait till after the discussion to segue, or just come in and say, "Yeah, we graduated from"? Well, no, I'm not even going to say that.
Of all the Lifetime made-for-TV movies, I had to pick one with even more man rape than our last movie.
The subject really just rammed itself in there.
Kate, are you trying to tell us something with these movie selections? Is there some deep-seated secret?
I had no idea what angles...
Are you part of the boys' club?
I had no idea what angle this bio picture was going to take.
For God's sake,
you do have a problem because you just said I had no idea what ankles. I had no idea what ankles would be grabbed. Ankles this would take.
Guys, just grab your ankles and get ready for a hell of a ride tonight, all right? It is A Tale of Two Coreys, 2018. Directed by Stephen Huffacker, who really hasn't done anything. But it's written by a guy named Peter Sullivan, who's a Lifetime movie workhorse. In 2017 alone, he wrote such classics. This is 1 year this guy is credited with. He wrote Lifetime movies such as The Wrong Man, The Wrong Crush, The Wrong Neighbor, The Wrong Student.
All part of The Wrong series.
And The Wrong House.
Oh, my goodness.
And actually, the last one, The Wrong House, was actually about me stumbling into my neighbor's drunk one night. I thought it was my house. But you know what? They got Melrose Place's Thomas Calabro to play me. He was excellent, as always. I thought he really captured my essence well. And over the last 5 years, Peter Sullivan has directed just an astronomical shit ton of made-for-TV Christmas movies. Those Hallmark movies that play.
Oh yes.
Oh God.
I'm a fan.
Get listen to this track record. Such movies as All About Christmas Eve, starring Patrick Muldoon and Connie Selica.
Patrick Muldoon.
Christmas Twister, which was a sci-fi made-for-TV movie. Dear Secret Santa. Christmas Under Wraps, starring Full House's Candace Cameron. A Christmas Mystery. 12 Gifts of Christmas. The Flight Before Christmas, starring Mian Bialik and Family Matters dad Reginald Bell Johnson, excuse me. Broadcasting Christmas, featuring Sabrina the Teenage Witch herself, Melissa Joan Hart, Dean Cain, and 227's Jack A.
How am I not acting in these things?
She doesn't come cheap. You know,
I should be in all of these.
You know, Jack A. Harry doesn't come cheap. And then wrapped up.
Unfortunately, Dean Cain does.
Well, yeah. Wrapped up in Christmas, starring the Facts of Life's very own Kim Tootie Fields. And finally, 2017.
Let's see, she's still around.
2017, Sharing Christmas. So basically, if you ever starred in an ABC TGIF sitcom, you've worked with Peter Sullivan on a Christmas movie.
I'm disappointed. I thought you were going to say he did such great Christmas movies as The Wrong Present, The Wrong Stocking,
The Wrong Tree,
The Wrong Candy Cane,
The Wrong Santa,
The Wrong Eggnog.
Well, also, if you've ever wondered why all those Hallmark Channel holiday movies seem so interchangeable, it's because they're all goddamn directed by Peter Sullivan. I mean, the same guy's making all these things. Sweet Christmas.
I was just waiting for him to get to The Wrong Christmas.
The Wrong Christmas.
Oh wait,
show.
it's Easter. Movie's over. It's not Christmas. It's
The
Easter.
Wrong Holiday.
Oh,
The Wrong.
Well, how did they take the
basket.
one of you stumbling into the wrong house to an hour and 26 minutes?
there's a lot of backstory.
You just were drunk and went into the house.
Well,
They cut out a lot of the backstory.
There's a lot of stuff going on there. You watch the movie; it'll be made clear. But I only mention this because often Lifetime movies, and to some extent the sci-fi and the Hallmark stuff, they all seem so similar, and I believe that's totally purposeful. It's television comfort food, basically. They want them to feel familiar. That cookie cutter formula is what works for them. And not only do I think it's smart, I'm actually a really big fan. Whenever I'm laid up, after both births of my kids, when I was like up late at night, when I had surgery within the last year and I was laid up on the couch, I would leave it on the Lifetime movie network, and I would watch movie after movie after movie after movie, and they just easy breezy. I didn't have to think. I didn't have to.
So many things are coming to light.
I like them.
I prefer my comfort TV, the American classic sitcom.
We spent an hour talking about The Bachelor tonight. I don't know where you're getting on your high horse here. No, but tell us why you're better than us again, please.
I prefer my TV with laugh track.
I tend to be more on Cade's side. Some of them are hit or miss, but there have been many an enjoyable Lifetime
If
and
you
Hallmark
see
movie.
Eric Roberts' name in the credits, stick around. Stalked by My Doctor.
Not a biography. Had nothing to do with me.
The Wrong Doctor.
The Wrong Stalker.
Stalked by My Grandma. That's actually something we'll get to later. I like them. And when I saw that they, because we've talked about the Coreys so much on the show, when I saw that they were doing this, I was like, man, this is a no-brainer.
All right, so I'm coming into this blind, just a child of the 80s, knowing
That's
the
what I went into.
Coreys from it.
That's what I went into.
So
I would be
I
quite
heard-
the opposite.
So
I'm
was this
fairly
a
well-versed.
product of Feldman's?
Yes.
Doctor can enlighten us a little more on his involvement in this. I wasn't aware of it till he...
The Doctor's involvement?
Feldman's involvement.
Oh.
The Doctor, you had nothing to do with this, right?
It's far too early to tell.
He's the mystery man in the first few scenes.
No, he's touching me.
When Tut goes to the movies,
We never see his face.
Tut goes to the movies and sees the back of me standing there with my glasses on.
Feldman executive produced, correct?
Yes.
And his credit as a writer, I believe?
Well, Feldman actually wrote a book called Choreography some years ago. So I think part of the basis of the movie comes from the things that came out in his book that came out right after Haim's death. So yeah, this is really kind of a pet project of Feldman's.
Which, boy, it's his influence certainly,
Yeah.
or his point of view, I should say.
Yeah, I want to.
certainly.
Yeah, I want to kind of keep that in mind going through.
Well,
as we go through it, there are things that, because I also being a child of that era, but I'm pretty well versed in a lot of the stories.
See, I'm not, so I'm kind of.
There's a lot of things
I would like to know, like what's considered accurate, what's considered hyperbole.
Right. And it's all over the map. There's a lot of stuff that I heard about a long time ago. There's a lot of stuff that is known to be fact, and then there's stuff that you kind of have to wonder for yourself if it's disingenuous or not.
Right. Or just human nature. If Feldman was heavy involved in it, naturally he wants to put himself in a good light, or in a victim light.
And not to get too far ahead, but the dead can't contradict.
True.
Very true.
Well, I mean, that's not a spoiler. He's been dead for.
Well, there's more than one dead person portrayed in this movie.
Very much so. And before I dive first thing into this movie, everybody's lit up now. First impressions of the stogie.
I'm not getting any of those chili peppers yet, which I was anxious to see. But there was definitely a kind of a I hate to say sugary sweetness, but kind of a sweetness off the beginning.
It is that.
Mine's already gone. It was there for about a minute.
Mine's not. It for some reason it is lingering.
I'm still getting a little of it.
I'm hoping it goes away because it's totally just kind of washing any cigar taste out.
Mine didn't last very long in the first cigar, and this one it's already almost gone. You said yours is almost gone.
Yeah.
So just give it some time.
Yeah.
Well, you know
it's
what?
Smoking pretty nice. The draw's okay. I like the smoke production on this one.
Draw is good.
It was interesting because like when we were taking the pictures, there was I wasn't that impressed with the smoke production on it, but these are like a little bit.
Actually, this one is the smoke production and the burn line. The first one I had a lot of retouching to keep the burn line straight. This one's actually burning much nicer, and the draw. I did cut it a little deeper this time.
Yeah.
The draw, it's smoking really good. I'm getting. There's a hint of that sweetness, but I'm also getting some mineral and just some just kind of a generic. As the flavor wheel we used last time would call it, maybe like a wet wood kind of taste. Are you
not getting lanolin?
I'm not getting lanolin yet. On the first one, I also got a little bit of vanilla in the first third too. So I'll cut. You know what? Let's wait till the sweetness dies down and you guys get a little more into it. I'll definitely come back. The beer for me is really tasty.
Yeah,
and it's not. Yeah. It's too soon to tell if it's going to interfere at all with the cigar. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I think that the two tastes are totally different.
Yeah, not on the early
very
returns.
separate.
It works.
And if the beer does get a little too strong, I think we can just pour some of the whiskey into the beer, and that'll neutralize it.
Pretty much. It's proven fact.
Works for Taco Bell.
I have one of the top 11 most elite palates in the known universe, so I think I know what I'm doing, guys.
Oh my god.
That will not be the last time I mention.
Oh no, I'm
well aware.
Well aware. Yeah.
If they're gonna make Gordita Lupas, we can make Beerski.
Beerski Lupas? Potato whiskey crunch your rollers?
What about Bearditos?
Get out.
Get the fuck out of here. All right, Tale of Two Corys. I promised you a Lifetime movie. Here it is. We start things off with some stock footage of Hollywood sign, Man's Chinese Theater, and so forth. And we hear a voiceover from Mr. Corey Feldman himself. Not the actor playing Corey Feldman.
Oh, I was about to say, that was the Corey. He sounds so different.
No. There's no trace of actual Corey Feldman or his voice in the movie.
Had a very Wonder Years kind of feel.
A little bit Wonder Years voiceover feel.
What would you do if I sang
God, here we
out
go.
to stand up,
He tells.
Oh, okay, never mind. He's touching me again.
You know, this is why LeBron left for Miami. This kind of Bush League stuff. I'm taking my top 11 palette and taking my talents to South Beach.
Great. Why don't you go to that Dan, whatever his Levitard. Yeah, you can go up there with Poppy and whatever his name is.
That Levitard's horrible.
Stugatz, yeah, you can go hang out with Stugatz.
I can't listen to ESPN radio whatsoever anymore. Levitard makes Mike and Mike stomachable.
Well, no, well.
Yeah,
It's too soon?
I went too far. Well, Feldman tells us this. Hollywood loves to put people up on pedestals, admire them, worship them, and then abandon them I should know. My name's Corey Feldman, and I've been acting since I was 3. How could kids like Corey Haim and I ever have the chance to be normal? So already he's feeling sorry for himself.
Yeah.
He's already abandoned, and you kind of already have a glimpse. This isn't going to be.
Yeah.
We never knew it was going. You knew it was never going to be a feel good story, but
Right.
It's he's going into the first voiceover with a chip on his shoulder, which that's kind of his MO. We then join a young Corey Feldman who looks a lot like a young John Cusack.
He really did.
Really did.
That was the first thing I was like.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Cusack hung out with them when they was little. Nope.
I couldn't figure out who else he reminded me of, the kid that plays the teenage Feldman, but he was definitely had the young Cusack
He
look to
looked
him.
so much like a young John Cusack. As he watches Michael Jackson perform on TV, and Feldman starts imitating his moves.
Really horribly.
Really bad. He goes out into the garage as he lives with his grandfather and his mom. And his grandpa has a war chest of military stuff, and he gets his white military gloves and starts doing Michael Jackson stuff, moonwalking all over the place. It's worth mentioning the person playing Michael Jackson on screen also looks nothing like the real Michael Jackson. That's something in this movie you got to get over quick. These nobody looks like anybody they're supposed to look like, but you got to just roll with it and get it over pretty quick, or else you're gonna have a real hard time. Well, Feldman's mom enters the room and brings his dance party to a crashing halt. Before she heads out for a wild night at the clubs, she wants to make sure he's got a script for the Goonies memorized. She throws the script at him when he kind of stumbles over his first line. Chastises the poor kid for eating potato chips. You're going to get fat. Nobody's going to want you in their movie. And then she slips on her fuck me pumps and heads out the front door. Did you recognize her?
I did not, but she had enough tassels on.
Actress's name is Ashley Scott, and I thought it looked like her, but she played that hot piece of ass in the Rock movie Walking Tall. That blonde that he hooks up with. Like, she's gorgeous in that.
That does not look like her at all.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that. That's weird.
So either she's a really good actress, or I guess that movie was probably a decade ago.
It was.
Yeah, she's probably in her 40s now. But yeah, I recognize it. She does a really good job at this.
She actually does. Yeah,
the burnout,
trashy white trash mom,
controlling his career for her own coke and booze addictions.
Feldman's mother, I didn't find anything specifically that. I actually didn't find any specific backlash against the movie. It only just recently aired, but she does have a bit of a rant against how she was portrayed in his book, Choreography, and I think I haven't read the book, but I get the feeling that a lot of what ended up in this script came from that. And she indicated, and again, this is just what people say, so there's no way for us to know what's true and what isn't. You just have to kind of formulate your own opinion. She indicated in an interview that her son called her before the book was published and said, "You're going to be upset." And she indicated that it wasn't as bad. She wasn't as bad as she was made out to be. Now, of course, you're going to say that.
Oh, yeah.
But she indicated that he even said to her, like, "You're going to be upset. Just go along with it," as if he had embellished some of it. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. If she was, because she's really stereotypical of what you'd expect of just a horrible stage parent.
Boy, they sure go overboard with that personification in this film. Well, that's it. Okay, I'm surprised.
That's weird because I've never really thought of stage parents. Like, I know, like young child musicians' parents and other talented children that way.
Yeah, no.
But I've never really thought about the child actors, their parents.
Well, a lot of these kid actors that end up broke all blame, Gary Coleman.
Yeah.
And as you get to it further down the line, that is a well-known fact. He was supporting the family
Webster,
there when he was an adolescent.
Manuel Lewis, all those kids, ended up suing their parents for.
Yeah. Well, they did write that law specifically in that instance when you had a child and the parents are in charge of all the money. I think it was a Coogan's law.
Where they had to put a certain amount aside.
Correct.
But boy, I mean, this chick is played. I'm surprised the way she's portrayed in this, that she's still alive.
Yeah, no doubt.
I expected her to die during
cocaine
Turn this
abuse.
somehow.
Or,
Yeah.
She at least was a few years ago when those comments were made.
Okay. Well, 2,500 miles away across the country, a young Corey Haim is watching the same Michael Jackson's performance on TV. We learn quickly that his home life is quite different. Loving mother, father, sister. He has to be.
Love this father, man.
He's from the old Sonic commercials.
He's from the old Sonic commercials. He also did the Swagger Wagon from
He's been
the
in
Toyota.
He's been
He's
in tons
a comedian.
of
I
stuff.
mean,
Yeah, but he's
fun.
really funny.
Yeah.
He
He's got
has
a good look to him.
he has to be excused from supper. Corey does, so he can work on his Goonies audition. He really wants to nail this job, but his dad informs him, "You're 13. Your only job is to eat your vegetables." And that actor actually nails those cheesy lines.
Yeah.
Man, I'd suck at that job. I hate vegetables. So Haim's family seems supportive in a very healthy way, and I'm sure that's part of how Feldman saw
His parents.
Haim's family as
Yeah,
just
I
the
mean, if you're
opposite.
coming from an abusive parent,
You're gonna see,
or what you think is abusive,
you're gonna
then-
see the perfect thing
Yeah.
on the other side. Like the doc said, we'll never know. We jump then to the set of 1986's movie Lucas. Haim's kind of first. Well, actually, he did Silver Bullet before this.
Yeah, I
correct?
think he
Yeah,
did.
and he had
Yeah.
actually was in a movie. What really put him on the map was right before Silver Bullet. I believe the name of the movie was called Firstborn. I think it was with Christopher Walken and Terry Garr, and he was like he played their son in it. I believe it was called Firstborn. I think that's what really got him recognized as, wow, this is a kid with talent. And then he did Silver Bullet, the year right before Lucas, or right around the same time.
So he's just kind of starting to be a rising star, enough to where on the set of Lucas he has his own trailer, which his mom is. They're just both tickled to death about. It's bigger than our first house, she says. Well, immediately on the set of Lucas, in between takes, he's smothered by a mystery man who keeps whispering in his ear that I'm here to take care of you. And a little later on, when he sees Haim staring longingly between takes at an actress, the mystery man, we never see his face. He's always just putting his hands on Corey's back and shoulders.
The young actress, by the way, is supposed to be Carrie Green from Goonies. She played the lead female role in Lucas. That's
Maggie role.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so that's supposed to be her.
Okay.
Even though in real life she has red hair. And
Yeah, I was about to say.
that's who she's supposed to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Couldn't just put a wig on her, huh?
I guess not.
Does anyone else
Fire
see a
hair.
problem with this? No, just keep filming.
Well, the mystery man starts asking young Corey Haim about his sexual history. You ever kiss a girl? You're still a virgin?
Tut, you ever been with a woman?
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Doctor, I
So
want more of
uncomfortable.
this tonight.
Tut, there's in the Tuesday Night Cigar Club, there's a boys' club and a girls' club. You want to be in the boys' club, don't you?
He tells Corey,
Just relax. Just relax.
he tells young Corey, you know about the boys' club, don't you? And Corey says no. He's like, well, in Hollywood, there's a boys' club and a girls' club. Let me take you in the trailer and I'll tell you all about it. And you see them walk together to Corey's trailer, shoulder the top of the frame. You don't see the man's face again. And you see him push young Corey up into, like I just pushed my cigar off the ashtray, push him up into the trailer, look around, and close the door. Yikes, we're not even 10 minutes into this thing, and we're already having sexual abuse. Tut, I'm so sorry.
And right from the start, this backstory,
Jesus.
this is the part that
Sweet reason.
a lot of people really don't know if it's totally fabricated or not. And we'll get more into that as there's another scene coming up in a little bit.
This is all from Feldman.
This is what the unnamed movie mogul that Feldman has been referring to since Haim's death, which is almost 8 years ago now in 2010.
Right.
He claims that is what Haim told him. And that's what we don't know. Haim's mother disputes that this happened. She admits that she knows there was a case where he was molested, which we'll get into because it's going to come up in at least a portrayal of it's going to happen here shortly once. But she claims, and this was very recent, this was a few months ago before the movie came out, but
Right.
she calls Feldman a scam artist and says that this whole unnamed movie mogul thing is bullshit in not so many words.
Okay.
That's her take on it.
Okay.
It's one of those things where it's Feldman's word against somebody else's word, with Haim being gone.
Well, perhaps the truth lies somewhere in the middle.
As it so often does. But anyway, that's the part that he claims Haim told him.
Okay.
We have no way of knowing whether this part is actually true or not.
Next movie, can we do like Sister Act or something? Quiet Man, good John Wayne film.
We'll see. No promises.
Zootopia.
Meanwhile, on the set of The Goonies, Corey Feldman is explaining to us that he found the love that he never got home on film sets. For example, there's the time he begged Steven Spielberg to invite Michael Jackson to the set of The Goonies, and he gets to show off his MJ dance moves to Michael Jackson himself. It's a quick scene, an innocent scene. No sexual abuse. Michael Jackson doesn't take him into a trailer.
No, it was very appropriate.
Again, the Michael Jackson guy looks nothing like Michael Jackson.
He almost had a
I did
mustache.
like where the guy, Michael Jackson, walks in, dressed in the Michael Jackson outfit, and the Feldman kids all, are you Michael Jackson?
Wait, what?
No.
He literally just moonwalked into the room.
He's got the clothes on and everything.
I'm pretty sure when
He's got the Thriller tiger.
Come on.
Lots of Michael Jackson in this movie. You've been warned. Real quick, now is your sweetness dissipate a little bit?
No, it's not.
Oh, God, it's still there.
It's still there.
Doc, you?
It's not as strong, but there's still a little of it lingering. It's not bothering me.
I am in full-blown, begin the chuckling, roasted nuts. I'm getting like a roasted peanuts kind of thing. I'm still getting that kind of wet wood roasted nuts. I'm not getting the vanilla that I got. I'm almost thinking now maybe the vanilla I got the first round was some of that sweetness mixed with maybe the whiskey,
rye.
the sweetness in the whiskey. But I also picked up a lot of heavy mineral early on that I haven't started to get here so far. But the woodsy, the wet kind of damp wood and the roasted nuts I'm getting. Are you getting any? Are you?
Now that you say wet wood,
Yeah,
that's
actually
something I'm picking up on. Wet wood but no nuts.
I'm going to disagree with everything that
I
you
am
say
one
just
of
to
the
try to knock
world's
you
top
down.
cigar experts.
Just to try to knock you down, I have to go. No. I'm getting more dry wood. How about that?
Well,
You want to play on the right team, don't you, Tut?
He's touching me again.
if there was more dry wood, we wouldn't have a movie here, would we? Make America horny again.
We're failing miserably.
Wouldn't it be funny if the mystery man had one of those hats on? No, that'd be like you jump forward in time. That'd be like a time traveling thing. After the success of Lucas, Corey Haim's family packs their bags and move out to Los Angeles. He's a bona fide movie star on the rise, and his future's bright, right? Wrong. Our little innocent Corey Haim, as his happy family unpacks and makes his favorite tacos for dinner, Haim is almost catatonic in his bedroom, suffering from intense flashbacks of his molestation by the mystery man. Finally snaps out of it enough to light up a bowl of weed. It starts out small, weed,
Now how?
to coat.
It's touching me. How old is Haim in this?
13?
They were both born in 71, so
But
14,
like in this
15.
scene.
Yeah,
Okay.
14, 15.
All right, I can. All right.
If you're asking where he got the weed, he's on film sets all day.
True,
That's,
yeah.
You get anything he wants.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand that.
He did
but
movies with Charlie Sheen, for God's sake.
I understand that, but there is a point where you're so young to where you're not that interested in weed because you don't know what getting high is and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
no 15-year-olds do weed. That's
No,
crazy.
15. 15 makes more sense. I was
Haim-
thinking like 9.
Haim
10.
claimed that he
Oh,
started
no.
drinking.
When we first see him on Lucas, he's 13, I believe.
He
Okay.
claimed that he started drinking some beer on the set of Lucas, and by the time they get to Lost Boys, that's when they're smoking some weed.
86, Lucas, what year were they born?
71.
9 plus 6, 15.
Or
yeah.
14 when they
Yeah.
filmed it.
Yeah, 14 when they
Thereabout.
filmed
All
it.
right. Well, that makes
There you go.
okay. It's hard to tell with these
And
actors.
if you're around older
I just-
kids, if everybody else on there is 18, 19,
Oh, sure.
one of those people's Charlie Sheen, you're probably going to
Yeah.
have some
Yeah.
beers.
I mean, I can understand that, but like I said, I thought they were much younger at this point.
But no, he's self-medicating. That
I mean, because Mouth looks in Goonies looks like he's like 10.
yeah. Well, no, that rape in the trailer is really, really fucked with him. Obviously,
course.
his big premiere for Lucas is that night, and he's a total mess. But I mean, he doesn't want to get out of the limo. His mom's like, "This is your night." You know, he's there with him and his sister and his mom. But as soon as he steps out of that limo and those two 80s babes in miniskirts come and latch their arms around him, all of a sudden a big smile appears on his face. And they, as they're escorting him in, 80s babes in miniskirts. Is there any problem they couldn't solve? Even childhood trauma they could solve.
Is this the tube dress miniskirt?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of deep emotional trauma, soon after he learns he got a part in the Lost Boys, some classmates of Corey Feldman, he's at public school still at this point, drag him into the bathroom at school and try to sexually assault his ass.
No, I think they were just trying to
beating him up and
they were
putting his
just
face in the
beating him up.
toilet.
They were gonna
giving
give
him
him
a
a
swirly.
After last movie and this movie, anytime somebody gets bent over something, I'm thinking they're getting it.
Again, I think is this a cry for help?
I think this is something we may need to devote some time to.
Yeah, I think.
No, he
this
then
is-
proceeds to elbow them both in the groin and run away.
This is why.
And then the classic teacher with the sweater vest. Hey, what's going on in here?
This is why.
But
I
then
was
again,
kinda like,
he plays Haim as this meek, all right, I'll do it. But
And yet-
Feldman's elbowing dudes in the nuts and fighting his way out of this.
This was my first deal. I was like, I wonder if Corey had something to do with the story, because
It was
when you
like,
look
in the,
at-
well, in
when
the
you
opening
look
credits, it said written by Corey Feldman.
when
Yeah.
you, I don't,
Executive
I don't
produced
read-
by
I don't-
Corey
This is
Feldman.
not the first example of that. This is a good point.
But I was just kind of like, I've seen Corey Feldman. I've seen the Fell Dog, and there's nothing that suggests the Fell Dog can go this route.
Correct.
Well, good grief. Okay, well, all right, they're going to give him a swirly then for being a Hollywood. I was just like, man, these kids can't go anywhere without getting sexually assaulted. Like that makes me feel a little bit better about.
They go to
My
Burger
God, if
King,
that's actually
it's
the
just-
case, then his high school is more like prison than it is.
Feldman filled up a sock full of quarters and started beating them off with it. No, all right. Well, that makes me feel a little bit better about society. No, he wouldn't beat them, not beating them off.
Are you real? You're trying to tell us something. I feel this.
Perhaps a few beers from now, I'll be ready to talk about some things.
Oh God, I'm leaving.
This is going to be cathartic for everyone.
Oh, stop touching
The
me.
Coreys weren't the only ones that had guys trying to get in their Bugle Boys. I got stories, damn it. No.
There was seriously, they were the Coreys. It would have been Guess or Hillfigures.
Yeah, guys like us wore Bugle Boys.
Z Cavaricis.
You wore your Jordache. We had our Antoine Bugle
But
Boys.
hey, Antoine Bugleboy was quite the designer.
Well, Feldman's fights him off, as we said, thankfully. But when he gets home, drunk mom,
Yeah.
she deserves the title, is pissed about his bruised face. You know, he's like, I fell down. She's like, that face pays our bills. Get some ice. Well, first she's like, hey, baby, get me some ice for my vodka. And then she sees his face. She's like, no, ice your face and then ice my vodka.
And they make a big point of showing her pour the last of her bottle of vodka while the sun is shining in. He just got home from school.
Yeah. Come, baby. Hey, baby, watch my stories with me. I probably would have partied with her back in the 80s.
Right, would have.
So what does he do? Instead of icing his face, he goes in the garage, grabs his grandfather's old war pistol, heads to the bathtub, sticks the gun in his mouth where he's just about to shoot himself and end it all when the bathtub phone rings. I don't remember having a phone next to my
Well, it was
bathtub.
fancy house. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
He's
Back in
Corey
the day,
Feldman.
a phone in the
Literally,
bathroom.
just as he's about to pull the trigger and blow his brains out, the phone rings. It's Corey Haim on the other line. He just heard they're going to be working together on The Lost Boys, and he wanted to introduce himself. He thinks it's cool that they have the same name, and he wants to hang out with the other Corey that weekend.
Maybe play a game of football.
My dad and I are going down the beach. Maybe we could play some football. And
Toss around the old pigskin.
Feldman's like, hey, my dad's weekend dad is picking me up.
Weekend dad. Come on.
Sounds good. Just quit calling me that. This
I got
friendly
tickets to
little
the
phone
circus.
call literally saves Feldman's life. I can't count how many times I've been crying in the bathtub, facing eternal darkness, hoping one of you guys would call.
I keep
All right,
offering
so
you
which-
I kept
which one
offering
of-
you to go in the yard with me and my dad and sling it around, but you took that the wrong way.
Which one of you assholes keeps calling him?
Somebody just talked themselves out of a case of Lupa at 3 a.m.
I don't know that such a thing exists.
Oh, it probably does.
What, one of you asshats calling in my time of need, or a case of Lupa?
Case of Lupa.
Case of Lupa.
Both.
Both. And I'm sorry for calling you guys asshats. That was out of line. I'm
I think if the phone, the bathroom phone ring. Hi, this is Taco Bell. You haven't put in your daily order? I'm really worried about you. Do you want us to bring 2 quesalupas?
Did you really want 24 quesalupas? By law, we have to call you to make sure.
It's like Naked Gun 2.5. I'm not eating this crap. I never. Hey, Matt, that new 2.5 pound double cheesy gordita quesalupa that you ordered came in.
It's a gift. I got it for everybody. Well, before we get into the two Corey's first actually meeting, their first encounter, if you're still just get consumed by sweetness, then we're smoking just really 2 different cigars because that is gone for me. Yak Boy?
I'm getting no sweetness.
What do you get now that you're into it?
I would probably say you mentioned like wood. I would say it's more like, like a grass or hay. Like
Okay. Like dry vegetation.
Dried vegetation. I like this.
Did you say that vanilla was part of the original sweetness for you and that it was gone? I seem to have lost the sweet sugar factor, and I can now kind of pick up like a vanilla bean sort of thing.
I'm picking up nothing, stronger like on the retro hell. No, I'm not getting any pepper or anything of that.
Okay.
Still no ancho or habanero.
Maybe I'd probably say just a hint like walnut.
Well, I'm about to blow y'all's mind because I'm experiencing it now. Probably I'm still in the first third, but approaching the second third. I got this in the first go around, and I was really waiting impatiently to see if I got it again, and I just got it. You ready for this? It's a new one on the show. I'm getting buttered popcorn.
Get out.
Yeah, I'm totally not.
Buttered popcorn?
Yeah.
What are we eating? Jelly beans over here?
Kind of like the jelly. Yes, kind of like the popcorn jelly.
You know what?
beans.
Normally I'm on his side, but now I'm gonna have to side with you, Tut. That whole interview thing
Bringing
went
back
straight
the
to
butter.
his
No,
head.
no,
I know,
you're
I
not
know.
there yet. You guys aren't there yet.
Bringing back the butter. I see how it is.
Now we're
I'm
not there.
totally there.
We're not there yet.
Open your minds. Open your minds.
Open your minds.
I
Retro hell and see.
the second third, I get kind of a buttered popcorn note. I also get a lot more mineral.
Poor boy. I get no buttered popcorn.
I get some mineral and
Easy
then
come,
a little bit of
easy
salt.
go. Listen to the
I-
popcorn blow.
For me, the middle point of this cigar, the second third, is a completely different cigar than
Oh,
the
I
first
can-
All right,
third.
well,
I
we'll
could
see,
definitely
because
see
you know
that.
if there's buttered popcorn, that I'm going to be picking that up.
Give it time.
I will say that I probably have so much of that sweetness still on my lips that I still taste the back taste of that. I will side with the doctor on the vanilla bean. I'm getting more of a vanilla taste off the
Okay.
cigar.
Well, it could be because I got that initially on both. Maybe everything will come a little bit later. But let me know. I got it on both of them. But that mineral, that earth and mineral really takes a prominent note for me moving forward. And then there is a salt that pops up for me also. So keep smoking. I'll come back to it. I need another beer. Anybody else? Please.
Yeah, I'll take one.
Let's all take a break for just a minute and allow me to tell you about a very special cigar featuring a beautiful seamless Ecuador Habano Oscuro wrapper. The Pepe Van Winkle tradition from Drew Estate is a nuanced masterpiece from master blender Willie Herrera. We all loved it when we reviewed it back on episode 61, so much so that we named it our number 4 cigar of the year for
Oh,
2017.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
God, it's a good cigar.
Mm-hmm.
Special occasions call for special cigars, so pick yourself up a Pepe Van Winkle tradition for yourself at a local Drew Diplomat retailer and see what everybody's talking about. You can learn more at www.drewestate.com. Tut, I believe that is the cigar that made you coin the phrase "sweet raisins."
Sweet raisins.
www.drewestate.com.
By the way,
I really like the beer.
I do too.
I do too.
I do too.
I'm really glad that because man, I did not like that Bell's Porter,
Yeah.
but this is an entirely different beast. Where
There's-
that thing lacked flavor, and lacked any kind of complexity,
Yeah.
this thing makes up for it in spades. This is
Yeah.
a phenomenal beer.
I will say that there was a night at the pub that I ordered something else from Bell's. It wasn't the porter because ever since that show, I've just been like, I'm not ever drinking that beer again.
I said I was never going to drink a porter again.
But there was a Bell's that I had at the pub. I can't remember what it was, but it was quite tasty. So that kind of like, it was like, all right, well, maybe that wasn't, it's not Bell's fault. It's just a bad.
I'm sorry, Bell's Brewery was located where?
In Michigan.
Chicago.
Kalamazoo, Michigan.
That's right.
Yeah, I was going to say Kalamazoo.
Yes.
Not
The
Chicago at all.
name for the beer itself actually comes, there's
You just
a
need to get back in the voice club.
meeting of two rivers.
Just need to relax. I'm so tense.
Just
And
relax. Just take it easy.
So tense. Stop touching.
Two-Hearted Ale being the meeting of two rivers, and that's why there's a giant fish on the bottle.
yes.
Okay.
But the Corey explanation's good too.
Well, it goes with the movie. That's why we picked it. So that weekend, Corey Feldman is picked up in a sweet El Camino by his dad, played by the sweet mustached Patrick Muldoon,
Oh, yeah.
who I didn't know if you guys would recognize not being... I knew you'd get it, Doctor. We first got introduced to Muldoon back on Melrose Place.
Yeah.
We were big Melrose Place guys.
Actually, let's be truthful. You and I first knew him from Days of Our Lives back in the 90s.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Was he Luke? No, I forget his...
He was Austin.
Austin. He was Austin on Days... in college, we both watched Days of Our Lives.
I'm not going to say I didn't. I was the Days of Our Lives guy.
Later, maybe I'll do my Roman voice. Come on, Marlena. Stephanos got us nuts to bolts. You know that.
Sorry, man. I was even before that. Grandma got me into it during the Bo and Hope days.
Oh, this was Bone Hope. We're still...
Then Muldoon tried to leap to the big screen and was in Starship Troopers.
He has big role in Star... Oh, that's right, of course. You guys would know him from Starship
yeah.
Troopers. I forgot he was in that, actually. And now this is kind of Lifetime movies are... And he does sci-fi.
Has done his fair share of sci-fi
He
creature features.
he did a really good spider ski slope.
Ice
one.
spiders.
Ice spiders.
Yeah.
He was good in that. I've always liked Muldoon as kind of
I thought he did good here.
never really takes himself seriously, but he is so good in this. He's my favorite performance in this thing.
Yeah.
Just a weekend dad in every sense of the word. They meet up. He picks Feldman up. They meet up with Corey Haim and his dad for a fun-filled day of 2-on-2 beach football, and the two Coreys instantly hit it off. As Corey Haim puts it, when he at the end of the day he's talking to Feldman, he says, "Let me get this straight. We're both named Corey. We're both actors. We're both Jewish. Your favorite number's 22. Mine's 222." He can't get over all the similarities. It's a friendship that seems to have been, born from the cosmos, is what they say?
You like Coca-Cola? I like Coca-Cola.
Let's see if we have that in common. What's your favorite number?
My favorite number? I didn't know I had one.
Doctor?
69.
That's why we're best friends.
Oddly enough, I'll probably go with 2.
You could have been the third Corey.
I know.
Mine's 69 also. Good job. And if you think about it, yours is 2. You just didn't say it.
By the way, couldn't find any information on Bob Feldman. I do not know if he is still amongst the living, but couldn't find anything about...
The way
about-
he's portrayed in this movie, I would doubt it.
Couldn't find anything about him. There are some things known about him, the parents we'll get into later in the movie, but
Okay.
couldn't find anything about him.
Haim's dad has no...
No, interestingly enough, there was an True Hollywood story on the two Coreys at least 15 years ago.
right.
And they interviewed Haim's dad. He does not look like this guy. Had a thick Canuck accent. Couldn't really get anything out of him one way or the other as far as what he was like, other than he made some kind of comment that he didn't understand drugs. He looked at it as a sign of weakness.
Right.
But so not really anything. I couldn't find anything on the dads.
Okay.
Don't know if any of them are among the living anymore.
Okay. I was trying to think. They come up with a secret handshake that day at the beach, bonding over all these similarities. I was trying to think if we could do some kind of secret thing to bond over 69, but I think it's best if we just leave that alone.
Again, are you trying to tell us something?
Moving on. And just like that, these two guys are pretty much inseparable best friends. They're spending their days playing at the pool, They're doing slip and slides. They're squirting each other with super squirters, which I'm pretty sure they weren't around back then.
In 86, I don't think so.
Like huge
Yeah.
super squirters? Those
Nah,
weren't
it's
around
the
back
plastic
then.
water pistols.
Yeah, that's all we had back then. They had some battery operated like Uzis.
Oh, I
remember those. Yeah.
They didn't have super
No,
squirters.
No.
That was not realistic.
Boy, talk
at all.
about one of the cheapest inventions that made somebody rich, the slip and slide. Let's just take a wet piece of rubber, you wet it with your own garden hose, and take off. God, that Joe Slip and Slide was a wily son of a bitch.
I think he was the mystery man. In fact, Haim is so comfortable after just a few days with Feldman that when Feldman asks him about losing his virginity, Corey Haim tells him that he did some things with a guy on the set of Lucas. And Feldman's like, what? He's concerned, but Haim tells him, no, there's a boys' club in Hollywood. That's just what you do. When Feldman asks if he's ever told the producers of the film or his parents, he says, no, the mystery man assured him that my career would be over if I told anybody. And then he asked Feldman, just drop it. We got a movie to make. Let's just forget about it.
Okay.
That's how Feldman remembers the conversation.
Yes.
Okay. Even if you do remember it that way, your best buds, I would think that you would kind of go, no, that's not how I perceive it. I don't think you have to do that. So
To give
do
them in real life the benefit of the doubt, if we assume that something similar to the scene actually transpired, if we're going back to 1986, one, they are so young that they really probably, even being experienced with commercials and movies, wouldn't know a whole lot about how the big rules are. But two, the guy playing Haim says, I'm not gay or anything, real offhand. I mean, this would have been interpreted so differently 30 years ago than it would be today. I can see if one 15-year-old's confessing that to another 15-year-old circa 1986, that the other one
that's a great point.
being kind of confused and not really pushing
Dude,
the envelope.
we're in the middle of this huge trial where a guy diddled 150 female gymnasts within the last 5 or 10 years. This is in the 2000s, and nobody spoke up.
But actually, that's a going back to the 80s. You would not do that because it wouldn't be that people would make fun of you for being molested. People would make fun of you for being gay. That would be enough to silence. That would be enough to silence.
If it happened the way it was portrayed here, I think Feldman would have acted the way it happened in the film. He would not have been like, no, we got to go do something about this. He would have been like,
I never had that thought.
But at the same time, well, I'll hold off.
I thought it was accurate to the time period.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, look at it right now. There's that gym coach who did these horrible things to these female gymnasts, and nobody spoke up. These young kids didn't speak up because they didn't want to rock the boat.
That was your access point to the Olympic team.
And
you didn't get on the team without
They didn't want to rock the boat. They didn't want to ruin any chance they had. Same with these kids.
No.
There are rumors
Sad.
that the gay molestation or casting couch had happened with even James Dean back in the day. That kind of thing. There was that seamy sort of thing that existed.
It's I don't know. It's a hard thing. Unlike our last film, which was hard to talk about, when you involve underage kids, it takes on a much seedier and the fact that this isn't fiction, supposedly, that this is actually, it becomes even more. If Feldman is stretching the truth to make a buck or to make himself look better,
well,
which he does take a lot of opportunities in his film to make him look like the superior,
right,
making much wiser choices,
Corey.
The better Corey. I hope to God he's telling the truth, because if he isn't, if they end up at the same place when Feldman dies, I wouldn't want to be there for that encounter with Haim being there on the other side of what the fuck, man. Like, did you have to pay rent that bad?
That's funny and a good point.
I don't know, because I can see a lot
There's
of the,
a lot of
I can
shit-
see a lot of the embellishment.
There's a
and
lot of
the
shit you
embellishment,
can
I think,
lie
is-
about. There's a lot of shit you can lie about when you're telling stories, but when you're involving an actual real life person who's now deceased and bringing in shit where they were as a child fucked with, that is, you better fucking have your ducks in a row.
So far, though, I think I'm leaning to Feld Dog.
I think a good thing about this.
You're gonna keep calling him that.
I think a good thing about this discussion, and whether anyone wants to voice their actual opinion when we get further on into it, feel free. But I think for people that are interested in the Corys and this whole subject, it's one of those things where there's evidence and there's things that are known to be true, and then there's things that you just don't know, and you aren't really gonna know, and you can kind of have to make an opinion on it.
And that's why I'm glad you're here, because I remember coming out of this movie going, I wonder how much of this is accurate.
Based on what I know is accurate and what I have to take a leap of faith on, I have developed a strong opinion. I'll get to that later.
Take your time. We cut to Santa Cruz, California, where the Corys are on the set of The Lost Boys.
Thou shalt not lie,
Cry, little sister.
Can I make a confession right now?
People are strange.
Yes, you can always make a confession.
Is this the start of your, that's popular, I'm not going to watch that?
I've never seen The Lost Boys.
But of course.
Shame. Kiefer Sutherland. The Corys.
I do not, as a matter of course, make fun of anyone for a movie that they have not seen, because there are ones I haven't seen that I've been chastised for. I
That is
agree.
true. I never got around to it.
And honestly, I don't know if you'd like it or not. I happen to enjoy it.
As a horror kid, I'll tell you why I never saw it. Because you're like, Kate, you grew up obsessed with horror movies. You watched it. I was always vehemently against. I never was drawn to vampires.
Yeah.
I never saw the Fright Nights. I never saw.
Once Bitten, Twice Shy.
Nope.
I think there's some good acting in The Lost Boys, believe it or not.
There is.
I need to see it because I there's so many classic actors. Sutherland and I guess
Who's very good.
Jason Patrick is really good in it.
It's a fun story. I mean, it's fun.
Well, I need to see it.
I want to see it again because I don't know how it translates. I think it would translate to today. I mean, once you get past
I've
the
seen it within the last 5 years and still enjoyed it.
Okay.
It is a little
it's
dated, but not so
I like
much.
Silver Bullet now.
Primarily, the only thing that really dates it is the technology you see in the background, the televisions, the phones. That's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, everything else, it kind of fits.
Got that sweet Doors cover.
Yeah.
No, was that a cover? People are strange.
Yeah, that's.
When you're
they don't sing the
strange.
song in the movie. It is a cover.
Okay, I thought it was.
And
Come on,
by
shirtless
God-
saxophone player.
Oh, come on, yeah. We were
By
talking
God,
about that
I want to
pre-show.
say it's Echo and the Bunnymen, but I don't know if that's
you
right.
had me at
No, I think you're
shirtless
right. I do think you're
saxophone
right.
player. Did somebody say shirtless saxophone player?
Excuse me.
I still believe.
If you ever see someone that could rock playing a saxophone, it's usually like a jazz musician when you think
Dude,
sax.
he's a total bodybuilder.
and he's
muscly
like,
dude,
it's like a guitar solo, but with a saxophone.
with a long ponytail.
All right, we're going to take a 2-hour break right now so I can watch The Lost Boys. And coming in via Skype, we've got the muscle-bound sax player.
The sexy Jamie Gertz.
Oh, Jamie Gertz?
Yeah.
Really? I like me some Jamie Gertz. All right. Well, they're on the set of The Lost Boys. Well, we're on the set of Lost Boys. I don't want to neglect the cigar. Doctor, let's go to you. You mentioned on break that...
I took a sip of the whiskey, and that did heighten the sweetness. So the sweetness is largely gone. I'm hoping to pick up on some of the flavors. You mentioned butter popcorn. I don't know how I'm going to articulate that. I think I would know it if I tasted it. But flavor-wise, I'm not really getting a whole lot yet. There's still a little bit of a tiny bit of that vanilla, a tiny bit of the wet wood that you talked about, but nothing really to write home about so far. But I still got a bit to go, so hopefully it'll pick up here in the second half.
I'm in total sync with Doc on this one. There's like little hints of flavor there, and mainly just a little bit of that vanilla, which is really, really kind of weird. I'm not sure if that's... Of course, you're kind of nursing the whiskey, so am I.
Yeah,
so
I'm
it's not really influenced by the whiskey.
And I'm nursing the beer too. I like the beer. I like the way they go together. But I'm not getting a lot off of this yet. Here.
I'm really wanting.
Still got a ways to go.
Yeah, I'm wanting to find flavor here. At first, I was like, "Ooh, I taste pine." Wait, no, that's the beer.
Well, you may be with the doctor in sync. While we were on break, Yak Boy not only told me he got the buttered popcorn, but he also got the heavy mineral component and the saltiness that I picked up on. So
I did. Oh, there it is in my notes. This is great.
I believe cigar
tasting things I didn't
smoking
even know I
is
could.
supposed to be a subjective experience.
what do I tease? Of course, Yak Boy. What are you getting out of this guy?
They'll never join our club.
I have noticed that everyone's ashes have not needed touching up.
Oh, I did. Yeah,
oh,
I
did
had
you?
to touch up. Yeah.
Okay.
Solid construction burn line has been fantastic. The retrohale, I'm getting a sweetness, more like
Nutmeg.
kind of.
More
like graham cracker is what I'm
I agree.
thinking.
No argument at all with the draw burn construction.
But no buttered
See,
popcorn. I still have that hay on just the regular draw. I mean, I don't.
Wait, we're all
Yeah,
all over the place on this thing.
That's because there's nothing there that's like really kind of selling
Gravitating.
itself.
You're not pulled in by any one.
I mean, obviously, we don't have one of the 11 pallets in the free world, but
Not just the free world, right? The universe.
Oh,
I think is what they say.
There are cigar smokers on Neptune that don't have this kind of palate. Maybe Uranus.
it is definitely Uranus.
Is that a Corey joke? Because I don't like that kind of stuff. And I'm going to make another Uranus joke. You're out of here.
I am a scientist. I'm familiar with the planets.
Hey, you heard about Pluto? It's messed
I
up,
heard
right?
about Pluto. I'm actually giving a conference on Pluto next month. I'm part of a palette
Cody knows it.
cigar.
Well, I
Tighten
mean,
it up.
he was a dog. I mean, it's not the.
Come on, son.
Oh, the
Suck it.
Are you
No.
guys talking about Pluto not being a planet anymore?
Yes.
That happened like years ago.
Yes, it did. It's messed up.
It is messed up. We
messed
spent our
up.
whole childhood thinking Pluto was a planet. My kid comes home telling me that Pluto's not a planet anymore. It's what, a dwarf star or
It's a dwarf planet.
a dwarf planet?
Whatever, it's a planet.
Hey,
Which that's kind of mean, right?
make America horny again. Make Pluto a planet again.
Oh, I'm voting for you.
Hey, we send Stormy Daniels on a missile on a rocket ship to Pluto. She'll make it a planet again. If anybody can do it, it's Stormy.
She'll plant it. I don't even know what that means, but it kind of sounded dirty the way I said it.
It is.
It sounded awkward the way you said it.
Thou shalt not kill.
All right. In the hotel room on the set of The Lost Boys, Feldman is desperately trying to get Haim to read lines with him from the script. But all Haim wants to do is smoke pot and get laid.
He's
From
taking
the
rips off a
3-foot bong.
giant
It is
bong.
a giant
It's a
fucking bong.
huge bong.
He's like got to get up like on a bookcase.
It's taller than he is.
He's got to like elevate himself to get on top of this bong. Enter Feldman's new on-set chaperone, Marty Weiss, a little Weasley guy who, within being in the hotel room for 2 minutes,
Well, played by the ever lovable Keith Coogan.
who's he?
If you remember the wonderful film Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
No Adventures in Babysitting.
No, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter.
He was in that too.
No, Don't Tell Mom. Yeah.
He was in Adventures of Babysitting with Elizabeth
Don't
Shue.
tell mom
Don't
the
tell
adventures
mom
of the
babysitter's
babysitters.
dead. Let's have an adventure.
Are you thinking of the Elizabeth Shue movie?
No, I'm thinking of the Christina Applegate movie.
Okay, he was in Adventures in Babysitting with Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah.
And Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead
Yes.
with Christina Applegate.
Well, he does like babysitting.
He is quite the babysitter.
He was around there in the late '80s, early '90s. He was in that movie with
I'm
Sean
pretty sure
Astin,
he was
Toy
in
Soldiers.
that movie, The
Yes.
Babysitter.
Yes, he was.
Oh, wait, he was also in the Peter Sullivan movie, The Wrong Babysitter. That was...
Well, I liked it.
Watch, he's going to make that movie now.
These guys are gold. Man, I've got the next 5 years planned out.
The Wrong Podcast.
4 guys who look nothing like us.
Like us. You have to get some real ugly dude to play me. It'd be hard to find. The Wrong Babysitter. But no, Feldman had some other hand. Oh no, his mom was his handler, But he says she was so coked out of her mind, she had to get him a new one. So she found this guy, Marty Weiss. And he's not in this hotel room, his first day on the job of chaperoning this young man, where he takes a stoned Corey Haim into the bathroom and molests him.
Now, this is the story that Haim's mother, whether it happened in a hotel room or not, admits was the molestation case.
Well, let me preface this. Haim is high, desperately saying he wants to get a girl and get laid. Marty shows up, this older guy, kind of a squirrely looking little dude, totally unattractive. Just really, you can tell he's just really into the Hollywood scene and like, I'm on a movie set, I'm having fun. And Feldman jokingly says, hey, Marty's gay, why don't you just have sex with him and we can get back to reading the script. Lines. And Marty's like, well,
I can do that.
I can do that if that's what you want. And Haim is so baked from that 3-foot bong, he tells us the Santa Cruz weed is phenomenal, that within a minute, Marty is taking Haim into the bathroom. Feldman's disgusted by it. Again, executive produced and written by Corey Feldman. And he storms out of the room.
Okay,
Two thoughts real quick. Marty Weiss could possibly be the world's worst chaperone ever. Two,
I'd rather have drunk dad.
None of you bastards better ever executive produce a biopic about my ass once I'm dead. I can just see the doctor. I tried to curb Cade's drinking, but he just wouldn't listen to me. And
I'm imagining the scene where it's just
these guys were supposed to be best
friends.
friends.
It's like a 55-gallon barrel drum of Steel Reserve.
I like that one.
I'm injecting Steel Reserve into my veins.
I like that one.
So the
the
doctor is injecting Steel Reserve.
I like that one where I'm like, I tried to talk to Cade about his drinking. You're sitting up there on the cloud with St. Peter. That son of a bitch was drunker than I was for at least the last 20 years.
Well, at least thank you for putting me up there. That's nice of you.
Save me a seat.
That's my whole thing. If I take this situation at face value, like Corey's telling the truth here, then you're a fucking asshole for letting this happen. You could have instantly sit there and told your chaperone, get the fuck out of here.
I looked
you
at
could
it.
have told Corey, said,
Again, 15.
don't fucking do
I looked
this.
at it.
15.
No, even if it was 15.
No, Ted, I looked
man.
at it totally different. I looked at it as no young teenage kid. I could understand him leaving and being awkward, so weirded out, because he knows that Haim had already screwed around with a guy. He's just weirded out by the whole scene. He's been drinking beers. We saw Feldman drinking beers. I saw it as, man, Feldman, if this was your soulmate, your best friend, the two Coreys, I'm going to have to give you the benefit of the doubt here, because you have to be the lowest rung on the friend ladder to make this shit up.
Yeah.
About your dead brother.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think he made this shit up, at least this part. But I'm still going to go, what the fuck did you let this happen for?
Oh, no, I mean...
That's your brother.
It's not like Marty, who's based on somebody. It's not like he dragged Haim into the bathroom. He went willingly.
They pushed him. he was scooting.
No.
He was scooting him along.
He whispered into his ear first.
Oh, that's
and
true.
Then,
there was a real creepy moment where he whispered into, and I had the subtitles on. I was hoping they didn't tell me what he said. Do you think it was the same thing that
the faceless man?
They whispered to each other and lost in translation at the end?
Possibly.
Doubtful. So, what Feldman has alluded to, and Haim's mother named the guy, an actor.
Wannabe actor, probably.
At the time. You will know who he is. They will not.
Who is he?
And you will understand 2 decades of drug abuse if this is true.
William Dafoe.
An actor named Dominic Brascia.
I thought you were going to say Squiggy from Laverne and Shirley.
And I will tell you the only role that I know he played.
Okay.
This actor did meet Haim through Feldman.
Okay.
Because he'd worked in a motion picture that Feldman had a small role in. He was in the movie Friday the 13th, Part 5. And he played at the Unger Institute, where the mental institution kids are at, the fat guy eating the candy bars. I'm gonna tell Vic. That guy.
That is Marty Weiss?
His name is Dominic Brascia in real life,
Yeah.
and he is, according to Feldman has hinted to it, and Haim's mother named him by name. That is the guy who he used to have a lot of the younger guys over to his house to shoot pool, literally at a billiard table, and that he was the one.
You never know if things are euphemisms around
And
here.
he was the one that that guy. You remember him? He gets axed at the very beginning.
with the candy bar.
Yeah.
You know, Vic.
Vic, you're not supposed to do that. Drops his
Yeah.
candy bar in the laundry.
And Vic chops him up with
that
the
fat
axe.
dude is supposedly the one that molested Haim, and Haim's mother says that is the isolated incident of his molestation, that there was nothing else.
Well, first of all, knowing that it was that fat curly-haired guy from Friday Part 5 makes that scene so much more disturbing. Is he still alive?
Yes.
Has he spoken about the...
He is the one who recently came out and said that Haim told him that on the set of Lucas, it was Charlie Sheen who raped him.
Oh, the plot thickens.
Yes.
So this guy...
This guy is still alive, and he came out a few years back, or,
No,
or
this was
recently,
within a year.
within the last 6 months,
Yeah.
and said that it was Charlie Sheen on the set of Lucas who raped Corey Haim. Sheen's camp, of course, immediately denied it, and Haim's mother has said, everyone knows it's him, just admit it, no one's after you anymore, Corey's dead, just admit it. I don't know if there's a statute of limitations on something that happened 30 years ago, but even I think Feldman alluded to it as well. He had met this guy, they've been in a movie together, and he is the one that raped Corey Haim when he was a teenager.
Jeez.
And Haim's mother is adamant that it was that one isolated incident, that in her mind there is no nameless movie mogul. It was that thing, and that Haim was ashamed of it and didn't want anyone to know, so that's why he never said it and had 2 decades of drug abuse.
Wow. Okay, well, I learned something. One, that it was that guy. Two, that it was that guy recently who tried to pass the buck on to Charlie Sheen.
Yes, which
that,
nobody bought.
That
Nobody
didn't
bought
sound... I mean, Charlie Sheen's a maniac, but I never...
He probably was nailing every girl on set, but...
You would think somewhere in the last 50
Unless
years...
unless that happened to Sheen when he was that young.
It was quickly the whole. No one gave it any weight when he came out and said that, but he's apparently still around.
I can't see it, but according to this fucking movie, everybody's doing it. That's the reason why it's called the Boys Club.
Interesting. Sad and interesting.
Crazy.
Well, Feldman has nowhere to go when he leaves the hotel, so he starts walking aimlessly down the highway. PCH?
Probably,
Would
yes.
that be Santa Cruz?
Yes.
That stands for our listeners, Pacific Coast Highway. In the middle of the night, when a hot chick randomly picks him up and takes Corey back to her place to do lines of coke, his first time, and screw his brains out, also his first time. Hate it when that happens. Do you recognize her, Doc?
I did not.
Man, I wanted to.
She was very familiar, but I couldn't figure out who it was.
She's uncredited in this. If you go to IMDb, she's not in there, but she's worked with Peter Sullivan in some Christmas movies before. So there's the connection, but I'm sure...
The wrong Yule log?
She's uncredited in this, so I can't confirm this, but I'm 99% sure it was her. Her name is Jessica Lowndes. She was in the 90210 reboot.
Oh boy, I didn't think that was her, now that you're telling me.
And she also starred in the brilliant... I'm encouraging all our listeners, if you're at all a fan of
The
Lifetime
Ferrell
movies,
Lifetime movie.
the Will Ferrell Lifetime movie, A Deadly Adoption. Will Ferrell starred in and produced a Lifetime movie, spoof,
Played it straight.
but played it totally straight, where he and his wife bring in the surrogate to carry their baby, or adopt her baby when she gets, and they play it totally straight, but they play on every single Lifetime movie.
Yeah.
It is so fucking brilliant. It's called A Deadly Adoption, and she plays the expectant mother, but she was in the 90210 reboot. She was like, had the singing career. And
Oh yeah, I remember.
that's her. If you watch it again, that is her.
All right.
I don't know why she didn't get credit for this or want credit for this.
It's probably like...
I think it was just a favor to Peter Sullivan,
Yeah.
so she can be in A Wrong Christmas next year.
The wrong New Year's party.
The Wrong Fruitcake. That's actually a script I'm writing. Copyright 2018. The Wrong Fruitcake.
All of a sudden, Peter Sullivan sues us. He was like, "No, I had that way."
He's got a list of them.
This is
But no, I
2017.
mean, this chick randomly just picks him up, takes him back to her place. Oh, she thinks he's Mouth from the Goonies. Didn't she? Like, your
Well, he
mouth.
is. That's who he played. He's Mouth.
Oh. I gotta admit something. I've never seen the Goonies.
Oh God.
I have to. I'm just teasing. I don't remember their names.
Again, this is one of those things.
I don't hold it up there like so many people do as this awesome, brilliant movie. I mean, I liked it when I was a kid.
I like it.
I liked it when I was a kid.
This is another one of those things that seems to be a recurring theme, not only in this film, but in our conversation. I want to believe Corey Feldman that happened, and it very well could have.
Haim's first time, mystery man in the trailer. Feldman gets picked up by a hot California chick who gives him coke.
Takes him back to her empty pad, cokes him up, and fucks his brains
Screws
out.
his brains out.
I want to believe him, but we'll never know. I'm sure they were getting laid like nobody's business back there in the late 80s.
I would
They
think
weren't
so.
stars yet. Feldman was... The Goonies was all he had at this point. Why would this chick randomly pull over on the side of the highway?
No, dude, he'd been in Gremlins.
Oh, that's right, Gremlins.
He'd been in Friday the 13th. He'd been in Stand By Me.
Oh, that's why Michael Jackson knew him from the... Michael Jackson was like, I've watched the Gremlins a million times.
I read that's like him and River Phoenix went partying on Stand By Me with some high school party.
Oh, I forgot about Stand By Me.
So a young chick would have recognized him.
Driving down the highway in the middle of the night, she'd
Not to
recognize
mention,
him.
he's probably like in all those teen magazines at that time.
Well, we'll get to that. That's coming up. The next morning, Feldman is late to the set because he got high and laid the night before, and director Joel Schumacher fires his ass from the Lost Boys, and it's only after some serious groveling that Feldman's allowed to finish the movie. And we learn it was Schumacher, who would go on to direct Batman and Robin, among other masterpieces, that coined the term the two Coreys. I guess he was the first one who referred to them as the two Coreys. Which would immediately start to show up on the cover of every magazine. Tiger Rad, Top Bop, Star Teen Magazine. We see all those covers. You had subscriptions to all those, didn't you, Doctor?
Those are all fake magazine titles.
The real ones, though. You maybe had a few of those laying around the house?
Well, a lot of people don't know that I tried out for a role in The Lost Boys, and I actually published a few episodes of Tiger Beat myself. No, I don't have any of those. I'm not like that guy in Happiness. Was it Dylan Baker?
Yeah. Would you like some grape icy?
I'll go get some. Well, you want to talk about a movie that's disturbing? That's for another time.
You know what? Next up, we'll do Happiness.
No, God. Jesus.
I would bring in a casket so Tuck could just lay down in it and die on the podcast.
We wouldn't kill you. You'd just die.
Oh my God! Can you imagine him watching Happiness? Oh God, no! I would.
That would be the natural progression from where we're going.
That is like if we're gonna do the trifecta of man rape, sexual assault movies,
and end the TNCC once and for all.
And you know I'm a completist. I want to bring this home in a big way, but I would never do that to poor Tut.
I never thought that I would pray for getting lucky again, but
Well, Dylan Baker got lucky in Happiness.
Wait, the movie or the actual act?
Hey, wait till St. Patty's Day. We're doing Getting Lucky too. AKA Happiness.
Exeter Flexeter. Fee fi fo from. Marty Weiss put it in me bum. Why?
Doctor, drink your whiskey. That's your penance.
Marty Weiss is a make-believe character.
He is. Well, apparently not. His
name was
the fat guy.
Dominic Brassia.
He's the fat guy from Friday.
And if you guys knew who he was, like Cade said, that makes it somehow worse.
Oh, God. At our next break, I'm going to show you a picture of this guy. It's terrifying.
No, I'm not. I refuse to watch that.
Anything new on the cigar, guys?
No.
Well, I just took a sip of the hooch. Let's see.
I'm really... My theory is, at this point, is the cigars might be inconsistent from a blending standpoint, only because they've been kept together. I've had them in my possession for quite some time now.
Yeah.
The notes that I got on my first cigar aren't matching up with what I'm getting on this. There's some of them.
And I was once asked to be interviewed by one of the top 11 people with popcorn palates in the world, and I am not getting popcorn.
This guy loves popcorn, and I thought I was so excited earlier on. I'm like, he's gonna love this cigar. You know what? I got it much more heavier in the first cigar. I got a glimmer of it in the middle section here, but nothing like I did in the first one.
Yeah.
The fact that you guys aren't picking up anything of note is disappointing compared to the first cigar I smoked. But you know what? I'm not getting a lot of that. I got the roasted nuts and the wet wood that I got the first time. I got a little bit of the butter popcorn and the mineral the second half. Right about now in the first cigar I smoked, I started to get a blast of like pretty powerful spice. I'm not getting that this time around. There's no consistency. I'm not getting the consistency.
Anything, man.
And I'm just kind of getting...
Todd and I are having a similar experience. I'm having trouble picking anything up.
It's disappointing because it's an easy smoking cigar. I mean, the construction's nice. The draw's okay. It's easy on the retrohale. There's just not a lot here.
All right. You guys want to talk price point now? Why not?
Sure.
We'll get back to the movie. And I guess as I look that up, you guys still digging the beer?
Oh
very
yeah.
much.
Oh yeah. Beer's great.
I can see why this got a
Yeah, no
top
doubt.
spot for-
Yeah,
It's a delicious beer.
it really is.
Price point, trying to guess what we think, not what we'd pay for it, what we think it costs.
What you think this costs? Yak Boy, I'll go to you first.
I'm gonna go 9.
$9.
Man, that's a really good guess.
It's
901.
I'm going to do the dickhead Price is Right thing and go 901.
I'm going 902.
I'm going to say that because of the barbershop thing and the construct, I'm going to go 10.
Oh man, that really sounds logical. Both of those are right around that price point. I'll go $8.50.
$9.95. Doc, you went over.
yeah.
If we're doing prices right, you went over.
Show the doctor the lovely washer and dryer said he won't be getting.
Yeah, $9.95.
Tut, you win a 6-week subscription to the Boys Club.
Oh, God, no. Did you guys see that clip this week of Drew Carey on Price is Right?
No, but oddly enough, I have a internet friend who was on The Price is Right
Really?
this week.
A girl won the, what do you call it when the three people are trying to get up on stage?
To come on down-a-thon?
Well, they come on down and then they bid on something, and you get to, if you
Yeah.
win the bid, they come on stage.
Okay.
She was so excited, she came up there and she like jumped up to give him a hug, knocked Drew Carey's ass down, and he fell on his ass and he almost bounced off the side of the stage. Oh, dude, it's hilarious. He's okay. He's okay. He's okay. Yeah, $9.95. That first cigar I had, I may have been a little more okay with that price point. The follow-up has not lived up to that.
No.
It's only a few hours in between, and there's a little inconsistency. And
It's interesting that there's that much disparity.
yeah, and I mean, I was drinking the whiskey with that one. The only thing that's changed the beer, and I think we've all agreed, the beer's not got
It's a
any.
separate
It's not
path.
got
Yeah, it's
anything
not.
in it that's gonna wash out the cigar flavors.
Like I said, the IBUs are middle of the road. I mean, it's not overly hoppy. That grapefruit is still there. Very
no, if the IBUs were high, if the hops were, I mean, Tut would be the first one to complain about it.
No, I'm getting to be an IPA guy. No, I'm not.
Oh, got my hopes up. Welcome to the IPA club. It's a lot like the boys club.
You want to be in the IPA club, don't you?
I don't. Stop touching
We'll hop
me there.
to it.
Stop touching
Okay, beer thumbs up, cigar. I'm going to give it a this because the first one I had, I'd give it a thumbs up. This one has not.
Well, still got a ways to go. We'll see if anything happens.
You know what
here.
you do? You've got a whole third.
It's a cigar.
If anything, I'm not going to come back to it. If you guys, Doctor, if you get something, jump in.
Will do.
All right. At this point in the story, Feldman's mom is so fucked up that she sends him to live with his father. That's when you know how fucked up she is. Sends him to move in with Patrick Muldoon.
And his mustache.
Yeah, I mean, just clear how far off she is. We see Feldman smoking weed with his dad immediately on the couch. And before you know it, his sweet mustache dad is his new talent
I did like that funny line when he passes the pipe over to his dad. He's like, okay, maybe he wasn't the best role model or something like that.
Yeah. But before you know it, his dad has decided to quit whatever, I'm guessing, house painter job he had. He looked like a house painter.
I always felt that Feldman was supporting the family up till the point that's about to show up.
Maybe he was dishing some of that off to the dad, but the dad has decided to become his exclusive manager. The two Coreys are riding high, going out to clubs every night, doing lines of blow every 10 minutes in the bathroom. There's one scene where the song We Don't Have to Take Our Clothes Off to Have a Good Time comes on, and Haim talks Feldman.
We don't have to take our clothes off to have a good time. Oh, no.
I was going to let you keep
sorry.
going.
That's the only words anybody ever
Haim
remembers.
talks Feldman into getting on the dance floor and doing his Michael Jackson moves, which he's so proud of, which you said aren't that.
They're not. No,
Good.
this actor can't really do them.
Neither could Feldman.
After his last spin
More
move,
on that later.
after he does his last moonwalk and a spin move, he sees Haim and their new handler, because obviously Marty Weiss is gone out of the picture. Doug, another piss poor chaperone, doing blow out of the palm of their hands in the club, and he looks all concerned, like executive produced by Corey Feldman. There's a great tight shot of Corey Feldman looking concerned about the drug use of Haim and Doug, even though he's been doing it nonstop as well. We see him in the bathroom doing lines,
But he can handle.
but he wanted a little moment in the script where he's concerned about Haim's doing it too much.
Surprised Charlie Sheen didn't show up and was like, you know what, Haim, your drug use is a little.
Just wanted to point that out again, a moment where Feldman was showcased concerned about Haim's drug use. And then...
But he is showing them both heavily into the blow.
They show them both doing
Yeah,
it, but
yeah,
then he
yeah,
makes
yeah.
sure that they show a scene where he's second-guessing their actions. During that montage of them doing drugs, was that supposed to be Sam Kinison that came in the bathroom? And
I couldn't tell. I think so.
I
Because
think that guy was supposed to be Kinison.
in the E! True Hollywood story, I believe that Feldman, and it's been a long time since I saw it, because it was either late 90s or early, that was around the time that Behind the Music was doing their shows. It's been at least 15 years. I believe he mentioned going to
It was a little
Kinnison's
fat guy
house
with
and partying with
the
him.
Sam Kinison hat. I think it was supposed to be Kinison because he was like, "You guys want some of this?" Yeah,
Possibly.
It was Kinison. And again, another dead guy that Feldman could throw under the bus and blame shit on. I think that was supposed to be Kinison. Did you not think it was Kinison?
I think he
I
mentioned
didn't
him.
recognize anybody as who they were supposed to be in this movie.
That's true.
I think
I actually thought this guy was the only guy who actually kind of looked like who he was supposed to be.
I think
he actually looked like Sam
I
Kinison.
think he mentioned him in the E! True Hollywood story.
Well, it's the same time period. I can
Yeah.
see them partying together. But yeah, you're right. He was but I thought he was the only guy who actually looked like a celebrity, an actual celebrity.
As opposed to young John Cusack.
There's also a quick diner scene where after a night of partying, Haim confronts Feldman on his special friendship with Michael Jackson. Feldman says they just get each other, all right? I understand him, he understands me. But Haim insists that there's some hanky-panky going on. He starts doing the Michael Jackson like, hee-hee, oh, Coy. Pisses Feldman off completely. So defensive of his friendship with MJ. It's not like you and your friends. And he storms off. I've learned over the years that I'm in the vast minority on two things. The first one I know I'll get some blowback from. I've always thought Michael Jackson was a very overrated musical genius.
Wrong.
I knew it. Get that.
I like the stuff from the 80s.
Liked it,
I
but,
like
I
Thriller.
never saw why he was put up on this. I never was that big a fan. I never thought he was that great. But
You're wrong, but go ahead.
But two, I am vastly in the minority that believes he was a pedophile.
No, there's a ton of people who believe that.
For his part, Feldman...
If there was a ton, they still wouldn't play his music on the radio 24/7. He still wouldn't be on TV 20. He would be a pariah. He would
'cause he
be
was never
Harvey
convicted.
Weinstein.
He was never convicted.
Neither was Harvey Weinstein.
I take
Yeah, but even the people that were accusing Michael Jackson said no, he never did.
I take the opposing.
Even the people that accused him of molesting them
Yeah.
said he never did it.
No.
That doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't
Doug.
make any sense to whatsoever.
Yeah, they were canon.
I take the opposing view. I've always believed that he was a grown-up child and never
Agreed.
actually molested anyone.
Agreed.
For his part, Feldman and Michael Jackson's been dead since I think 2009. For his part, Feldman swears up and down that there was never anything inappropriate.
And this guy has accused everybody of molesting them. Anybody in Hollywood is a child molester, except Michael
he's
Jackson.
accused them of molesting Haim, not him. What about him? Oh, he touched Haim. He did Corey Haim. Not me.
That was Feldman's standpoint, was that Michael Jackson, there was nothing inappropriate. He just abandoned Feldman.
Oh, no, this movie paints Michael Jackson in an exemplary light.
Again, the dead can't contradict what happened and what didn't.
I mean, but, Harvey Weinstein spent millions paying off chicks, and Michael Jackson, it's proven, paid millions to silence accusers of doing stuff. But he gets a pass for some reason. I don't know why.
I don't believe he did it. I mean, I just...
But I think that's a personal thing.
Yeah,
it is.
It probably
like a lot
is.
in this movie.
And I understand why people do believe that he molested kids, but I just don't believe it. And if, like I said, if there's one person on this planet who is not afraid of saying, that guy molested people, that guy molested people, that guy molested people, I've been molested by people, Michael Jackson didn't do it. Stop touching me, doctor.
Just join the... Just relax.
I'm just saying.
Relax.
Feldman... All right,
because he'd have to say that Michael Jackson molested Feldman, and that's his best friend.
But he has, he has come out and said
off was Jackson's lifestyle.
Yeah,
the Neverland Ranch, all this stuff. It just, it literally fits the classic example of what someone would say. Oh, that guy's a pedophile. Look at him, with all the kids' toys. And
I'm in that camp that
he's got an amusement park in his backyard.
I'm in that camp that I think is the majority, as you pointed out, that thinks he was a big weirdo, but I don't think he ever hurt anybody.
But
I don't know. That's my opinion.
And in this thing, everyone that is doing it certainly doesn't act that way.
By the way, I got a hint of leather on this at this
of that.
point.
A hint of leather on the cigar. I just got a hit of pine tree.
I think that's the beer.
Pine?
Yes. Strong notes of grapefruit and pine resin.
Maybe so.
Yeah, because I've tasted pine and I thought it was a cigar, but I'm pretty sure it's the beer. And you're wrong about Michael Jackson.
I've always. Some people are convinced Woody Allen is a monster. Some people are convinced.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely understand where people. I mean, Jesus, look at the guy. I can understand where people will sit there and go, "That guy's a pedophile." He's actually. I mean, I understand he's got cases against him. He paid people off to keep it quiet. But there are people that pay people off just to shut the fuck up. I just don't see it. I think that there's too many people. I think Macaulay Culkin would have been like, yeah, dude, what the fuck?
I'm not going to
What's Macaulay doing nowadays? He needs money. He'll come out and write a book about it.
I'm not going to do the I'm Rick James bitch thing, but one of my more favorite skits from the old Chappelle show was there's a scene where he is a prospective juror for a bunch of different trials.
I saw that.
And like he's sitting there and he's like, well, a lot of people don't know I was interviewed to be on a bunch of juries, and it's like OJ and Robert Blake and a bunch of other ones, and it's there's one where he's sitting there and the guy's asking him questions about Michael Jackson, and he's like, no man, he made Thriller, man. And the guy's like, so would you let your kid stay with Michael Jackson? He goes,
oh hell no.
Oh fuck no.
I also like it because in that you get another underage deal, R. Kelly with his underage deal. And it's like, well, what would it take for you to believe R. Kelly did this?
It's actually a pretty funny sketch.
I would need a videotape of him with his grandma holding up a license with the said R. Kelly.
And they show this old black woman. She's all, "That's my Robert, always peeing on people."
All right, well, agree to disagree.
Yeah.
None of us are there. Who knows? Beer. Anybody else?
No, I'm good for right now. I just want to tell you, Kate, I don't think it's nice that you're saying all these things about
I think
me.
he's overrated. I mean, he did some good songs. A lot of guys in the 80s did good songs. They're not heralded as musical geniuses.
That's because they're not, and Michael Jackson is.
Good song. I'll give
So
him
is
that.
Weird Al.
Weird Al is a genius.
Well, now we've seen Tut's genius threshold. Talented, yes. Genius?
Genius.
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 Michael Jackson, Weird Al.
Genius.
Okay. Everybody's range is different.
Right next to them is Wile E. Coyote. Genius.
He's fictional.
He's not a real person.
But if he was, he'd be a genius.
Think Texas.
I'm going to take Tut into the Boys Club trailer and straighten him out later.
Yeah.
Tut, would you like some grape high C?
I've never seen that, so
I'm going to go get you some.
I'll go get some.
I've never
Would
seen
you like
that,
a
so-
sandwich?
Some of our listeners are barfing right now.
Some of them.
When Hames stumbles home from a night of partying in the bright light of day, he's confronted by his parents. Remember a short time ago they were the perfect family that moved out for his career? Well, they found Corey's stash of pills. Dad calls them, "What are these, your California vitamins?" And they tell their son that they're getting a divorce.
I would have said yeah.
Dad sees what's happening to his son. He wants to put the brakes on things, but Mom doesn't see tough love as a viable option. Everybody's telling him yes. We're his parents. It's our job to tell him no. Dad was right. So Hames' sister, who never really fit in out here anyway, is going to leave with Dad. And old softy Mom is going to stay here and handle Corey. That didn't go so well.
I think she made a comment once, and it may have been way back in the E! True Hollywood Story, that how do you control somebody that's making all that money and can do whatever he wants? And
Can't be easy. Even if it's your kid, it
yeah.
can't,
even if they're 16 and they're still a minor, what are you going to do?
it can't be easy.
You know?
And
Ground their
And
ass.
as we say often on the show, it was the 80s. It is different.
Well, how about this? He's a minor. Stop putting him in fucking movies. Move his ass to Toronto.
Well, she does that eventually.
And,
When
you
he-
know,
when he's
again,
30.
if the mortgage payment is being paid by his earnings, that creates a little bit of a difficult
Well,
situation.
which do you want? Do you want a mortgage payment or do you want a heroin-hooked son?
Some people tried to look the other way. I mean, it's easy in hindsight to pass judgment.
No, I'm not. Well, I kind of am, but
And that's okay. I'm just saying it's
Again,
easier
though,
to do.
again, we're passing judgment on Corey Feldman's
version of
version
it. Yeah.
of Corey Hames' life.
He wasn't in that house when that went down.
No, he was not.
If it went down like that,
Neither, I don't believe, Peter Sullivan was.
But I mean, I can see to where, you know, there's a lot of times where people will turn a blind eye. They raise that kid. They raise that kid to be a better kid. They're not going to believe that he's
That's my
doing all
son.
that stuff.
That's my son.
Exactly.
He's going to be okay. He's still
He's still a good kid.
Even though he's coming in with crow's feet, wrinkles in his eyes at 16, but I mean, how many of our parents?
how many
haven't-
times did you and I come in like that in the morning?
How many of our parents haven't seen their kids stumble in and been like, "This is a learning lesson. Don't this
He's
is
still getting an A average.
we need to not do this again."
What else? I also asked the question.
Then again, I'm not out at the Sunset Strip.
Well, I also have to ask the
Don't
question.
blow off.
I mean, the parent. I mean,
Sam
he just
Kinnison's
shows
head.
up after a night of clubbing, and the parents are just like,
Well, also,
do you not know? I mean,
Also,
aren't
we-
the handlers supposed to be telling you what?
Doug, Marty Weiss.
Well, I'm sitting here going,
We know what
you
they were
they
handling.
go
We know what
through
they
so
were
many.
handling.
They go through so many. Wouldn't you question? Like, wait a second. How is my teenage kid getting into clubs that are for adults?
Here's the thing, though, dude. We live in a time of TMZ. If the kids from iCarly were out doing
This is a
blow,
great point.
If the kids from iCarly were out doing blow on the Sunset Strip, their
Yeah.
parents would know
This was even before the
Immediately,
paparazzi really came to fame as well.
All she knew was her kid was coming in tired at dawn.
This is when a doorman would say, "Here's these 16-year-olds with beautiful girls. Come on in." Great point. Way before all of that.
Way before TMZ. Way before the paparazzi. Totally different.
Yeah, but at the same time, that's your kid. You know something's up.
If something was going on with them, Doug would tell us. Yeah.
Doug's in the back of the trunk of the car with coke burns under his nose. What time is it? We're doing the Roxy at 9.
You guys want to get some burgers at Big Boys? It's 7 a.m., Doug.
Oh, okay, you're right. Let's go for the Dorito Gordita.
Let's go to the get the $5 Gordita potato crispy box. This is why we hired Doug.
I could go for some of those Wisconsin buttery croissants.
Doug,
Doug
go
knows
run.
how to make adjustments. I could use it, Doug. When do I get a handler? I have one of the most 11 top cigar.
When you start
bringing
in Fell Dog money, we'll get you a handler.
When I get Fell Dog money, I get a handler.
Yeah.
The doctor.
Yes. What do you think it was going to be?
You'll get 3 handlers at that
Picturing
point.
some Doug moments.
We don't have to take our clothes off to have a good time, not cry.
Just you, Cade. You take your clothes off.
Oh no.
Well,
Why you wanna move so fast?
speaking of Doug, while all this is going down at the Haim household, his family crumbling to dust, Feldman's handler Doug is going down on him at the Feldman dad's house. Just pretend I'm a girl, Doug says, as a shell-shocked Feldman sits there paralyzed.
Shell-shocked.
So,
Is this not another case of Haim got raped? I just got a BJ from a dude.
I was so shocked I couldn't
couldn't
respond.
move.
I couldn't move. I'm the victim.
That was another Chappelle Show skit. Hey man, a mouth's a mouth. Hand me the casket crew.
he's not drunk. He's not passed out. He's just chilling on the couch. And Doug unzips his fly and... Well, Feldman is so shook up by this unwanted blowjob, and on top of that, his manager father has booked him on Hollywood Squares later that day, of all things, that Corey flees to seek advice from the only person he completely trusts, Michael Jackson. I get where you guys are okay with this. Me, I'm like, oh God, I just got an unwanted gay blowjob as a young adult. I'm going to Michael Jackson's house.
Again.
It's the last place I'd go.
Well,
Who can help me? Coco the monkey. What was that monkey he had?
no, it was Coco, I think.
He did Thriller.
He did do Thriller. Didn't he also do Beat It?
Okay, this is in the IMDb stuff for the Burbs. I'm gonna get that monkey's name.
It's Coco.
I believe it's Coco.
Yeah.
MJ tells him that he understands
I
parental
don't think
pressure.
so. We'll see.
He tells he understood parental pressure all too much. Obviously, I mean, Michael Jackson's dad is
Great. It's like having Ike Turner for a
he's
dad.
like the godfather of parental pressure, and that he's willing to call Feldman's dad and talk him out of the Hollywood Squares thing. That's for people at the end of their career. You're at the beginning, Corey. That's my Michael Jackson voice.
That's
That was
for
pretty
people.
good.
That's for people at the end of their career, Corey.
But even MJ can't talk sense into Corey's dad. Did you see it? Notice in that scene, how could you miss it? When Corey goes into Michael Jackson's bathroom to wash his hands, and MJ had drawn on all his mirrors, "You're safe here," like cartoon drawings, like "You're safe here, nobody can hurt you here."
So 2 things. 1, this again falls into a category
Bubbles was the monkey's name.
of Bubbles. You got it.
Beat you to it.
At the time the movie was being filmed,
Coco
Corey,
the monkey was from Seinfeld.
while the King of Pop did not visit the set, his famed chimpanzee Bubbles was a frequent guest, but had to be confined to Feldman's trailer while he was filming. After shooting, Corey returned to his trailer to find that the chimp had defecated and spread the mess around the interior. This problem repeated itself and became such a distraction that Joe Dante eventually banned Bubbles from the set.
So,
But the mystery man was quite into it.
how did Bubbles
Bubbles
show up on
stays.
set? I mean, did
So
Bubbles
who was in charge of Bubbles?
did Bubbles like drive himself to the set?
Wouldn't he have some Pampers or something on?
Or was there like a Bubbles handler who was like, Bubbles really wanted to come
I
to the
think the
set
mystery
today?
man was behind it. Corey, I want you to watch Bubbles poop on my chest. Hey, boys club. You didn't say anything about monkeys. It's a boys club, not a monkey and boy club.
I'm drawing a steaming pile of dookie on the back of my score sheet.
We call it an Amazon steamer.
In Houston, we call this a Fort Worth shampoo.
Yeah, that was kind of creepy. Again,
What? I'm sorry. What was creepy?
the writing on
Bubbles
the
pooping on things.
the writing on the bathroom stuff.
But that's Feldman saying the doctor's just shoving a steaming pile of monkey poo on his cigar notes.
That's not my feeling about
but
the cigar.
But if he's throwing Haim under the bus for all these things that he claims, this is a guy who he's painting as a martyr, Michael Jackson. So if I'm going to believe what he's saying about Haim, I have to believe that Michael Jackson actually drew these little safe space cartoons on his mirrors.
I could see that because I think that's what. If you go into Jackson's
it goes along
childhood,
with your narrative of he's just a troubled.
And this is one of an.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that MJ wasn't fucked up.
No, but it fits your narrative that he's a troubled man-child who just wanted to be safe.
This scene in the movie isn't it one of those increasing number of things in this movie where again, Michael Jackson is deceased for a while now. We don't know if this actually transpired. It's another one of those things where you have to make an opinion.
Get me Macaulay Culkin on the phone. Let's sell this.
Did Michael Jackson really get on the phone in 1987 and call Bob Feldman and tell him not to do that?
Because I'm thinking that if
we
my
don't
dad,
know. I want to believe it like you, but I don't know.
I'm thinking that if my dad got a phone call from MJ about the entertainment business, he'd probably be like, "Okay,
I'm Bob Feldman.
I'm Bob Feldog."
It's a leap of faith that this actually happened.
Yeah,
I hate to say it.
If you're going to believe A and B, you got to believe C, though.
I don't understand that.
We're still going to get to whether or not
we
believe.
We're
still going to get to whether or not we believe.
If you're going to believe everything he's spitting about his life and Haim's life, why would he lie about MJ? Other than if he's that devoted to MJ, which he is, obviously, dresses like him. He's still he's going to just try to build up the narrative of Michael's this little boy trapped in a castle that he just made to protect himself. A lot of questionable motives here.
Yeah.
A lot of questionable agendas.
Very much so.
And it all comes down to only one guy knows the truth, Corey Feldman.
And even at this point, with all the drugs he's done, does he really know the truth?
Would he remember?
Well, and that's something we're going to get to in the flick. His drug abuse, and this was well documented, not only by his own account, by what I've heard happened long before this movie and long ago, was actually a very short period of time in his life.
All right, we'll talk about that at the end.
Yeah, we're going to get to that.
We're effectively talking about less than 10 years here during this time period.
Well, depending on what all you did, it can fuck you up in that short time period.
Well, yes. But
God,
from the time they became
3 years we've been doing the show,
from the time that
I've noticed a drastic decline in my memory.
We're talking early 80s to early 90s here.
I know. My cognitive reasoning used to be off the charts, and now it's just like,
okay. Going out to do the show.
And you know what? I don't know why that is. It really just... it doesn't make any sense to me. Canned beer?
You got it, buddy. Hey, if we keep drinking, we can't face the harsh realities of our lives, right?
Who the hell wants to do that?
That's why monks make beer.
Again, I think we're giving Peter Sullivan fuel for the wrong podcast.
Is that his next one? The Wrong Monastery by Peter Sullivan.
No, I think the wrong podcast. We're writing this thing for him as we go on here.
It's the perfect adjective. It goes with anything. The wrong beer.
I just want Steve Buscemi to play me.
Oh, by year 4 of this podcast, they're gonna have to age Buscemi.
Yeah, we'd have to go back to episode. This is episode 66. We're gonna go back to episode 6.
Buscemi's just way too virile and God.
with Rock Hudson's corpse as the doctor. He's been dead for 30 years. We know.
He looks just like him, though.
We can degrade him a little bit.
You're standing behind him. You and Cody are standing on the other side with some puppet strings doing a weekend at Bernie's. It's too early to tell.
He gets Rock Hudson. I want Yul Brynner. What's going on over here?
It's too early to tell.
And the ghost of Yul Brynner is Yak Boy.
It's literally his little vapor of his ghost.
I'm actually going to ask for Corey Feldman.
We couldn't get Yul Brynner, so it's the ghost of Telly Savalas, says Yak Boy.
Who loves you, baby?
The Players With Yourselves Club card. This will rent you pornography at any hotel in Vegas.
God, he was in the boys club too.
Oh, great. Oh.
Tuttle, let's go join the Players Club.
Okay, Telly. Tully.
Tully, whatever. You just joined the club. This is a great show. Let's keep going. Where are we at, boss?
I get discounts on hotels with this, right?
Certain hotels.
Certain hotels.
The Motel Pricks. I mean the Motel 6.
Remember the hotel you saw Corey Feldman running out of when Marty Weiss took Haim into the bathroom? 10%, baby.
10%, baby.
The pool closes at 9:30.
Let me tell you where the name The Dirty Dozen really came from.
Oh, God.
Well,
I've always thought
it
that-
explains why he was always sucking on that lollipop.
I always thought that was odd of Tut whenever we mention, we'll be up at the pub drinking or whatever, we'll talk about doing some kind of, if you could cast anybody as you in a movie or whatever, he always goes to Steve Buscemi.
Dude's a hell of an actor, man. He's got great range. He's got the range that could actually
Tut, aim higher.
pull Tut.
Aim higher, man.
No, Buscemi.
I'd cast Daniel Stern, the guy from Home Alone,
Wait,
That
he
went
also,
lower.
the burglar.
He also passed away.
No, he's alive.
Is he?
I don't want Daniel Stern. Give me Buscemi.
He's got the hair. He's got the Tut hair.
I've changed my mind.
Wait, that would be Conway Twitty.
James Spader is the doctor.
James Spader would be an
yeah,
excellent.
I don't know. I mean, I think
Well, isn't he
it's,
bald now?
I think it's far too early to tell, for Christ's
That would
fucking
have to be me
sake.
right now.
Yeah, Spader's more Yak Boy now.
I mean, all of a sudden now I can't play John Menzie. I got to play Cody Leshiker. I mean, what am I reading these lines for your fucking entertainment?
I guess
Somebody
I go
get my agent on the phone.
I go McCarthy.
Oh,
Oh no,
Mr.
coming.
All right, back to the movie.
Mr.
We're
Top-
falling off the rails.
yeah. Let's get back here.
Back to the movie, Steph.
Fine. Just what's next in your notes, for Christ's fucking sake?
No, the dad.
Daniel Stern is alive?
Oh no, wait, Stern.
Stern. The dad died.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he died. As proof of his gradual career downward turn, we then see Feldman super excited about auditioning for his first headline starring role in a film called License to Drive. He gives the script readings his all, but little does he know the other Corey's also auditioning for the part. And honestly, the way that they shoot it, the other Corey Haim does a much better reading of the role.
You mean Feldman painted himself as not up to par in one of these scenes?
Yeah, it's a rare scene where Feldman paints himself lesser than Haim.
Yeah.
Corey does a better reading for the part. It's kind of obvious why they would go with him. Of course, Haim gets the role.
Well, Feldman, even in this movie, talked about Haim being just a natural.
Well, and he also, there's a moment coming up where gets more into that. But it pisses Feldman off to know, this is supposed to be my headline role. I was supposed to be the star of this thing. How could you do this? And Haim's like, man, I didn't want to, my mom set this up. I didn't even know I was auditioning for it. You don't know what it's like, Feldman says. It's always Corey Haim, Corey Haim, Corey Haim. I never come first. But Haim tells him that, you know what? Your role as the sidekick gets all the funny lines.
He kind of does.
It's gonna be.
He does,
It's
yeah.
gonna. I've never seen that movie either. Is it good?
It's
No.
pretty, it's it has a soft spot in my heart because I saw it probably when it was new in 1988.
I saw it in the theater.
But
I actually
he can
took a
tell.
date to it.
He can tell that his buddy's at that moment where he's really pissed. So what's he do? He pulls out that little baggie of Coke,
This will make it better.
throws it at him.
Les and Dino.
Boom. Friends again.
Feldman was Dino.
Just like that.
Haim was Les. Yeah.
I don't remember anything
Oh,
about
man.
the movie
Just-
except for the car and the Mercedes chick.
Just like that, they're friends again. He gives him a bag of Coke and everything's forgiven. So they head off to the Bob's Big Boy to get a burger. But Feldman stops at the ATM along the way and learns that he has no money. Overdrawn. What does that mean? He doesn't know what that word means. Overdrawn. So he heads over to a small dive bar to confront his manager dad, Bob?
Sure.
Who's rehearsing with his new rock band at a local bar, and he reluctantly fires him. Not only did he book him on Hollywood Squares, but the only gig he has lined up for him is a PBS movie. PBS! Are you kidding me? PBS? Corey just wants his dad back. Can't we just hang out? Can't we just play music together? I want my dad back.
I need my dad.
In case you forgot, you're not the only Feldman in the entertainment business now. He's got his guitar strapped in front of him. And he was playing a very Boogie Nights kind of power anthem with this band. It was totally
and it was terrible.
Totally terrible. If I'm not your manager, then I'm not your dad. What an ultimatum.
Pretty shitty.
Pretty shitty. So this leads to a courtroom scene, very brief, where Feldman's quote-unquote parents, I use that term loosely,
Yeah, no doubt.
sue him for his remaining assets, which they knew what it was because they control his money. 40 grand. That's all he had, and that's what they take from him.
This is well documented as the truth.
In exchange for his emancipation.
He was actually legally emancipated from his parents at age 15 or 16. Again, great point that you made, Cade. Probably the point of the night about these goings on in the 80s. This is before
For the
a
laws,
televised
yeah.
courtroom. No TMZ making the judge his own reality show. A judge, however bad Feldman's parents were in reality, a judge actually saw fit to legally emancipate this minor to go live with his then 18-year-old sister. That was going to be his guardian.
And give his parents his money.
That part was confusing to me because he makes it sound like they bought $40,000 the price of a son. What I understood was Feldman got what money was left, which was 40 grand.
In the movie we watched, it sounded like he paid them 40 grand.
It did.
For his emancipation.
It did. I believe the reality was he had made over $1 million in earnings at that point, and what was left after supporting his family, what he got was 40 grand.
Okay, well that was spun to where...
It was.
Yeah.
It was spun the other way around.
The
But
other way
that's the
around.
way I understood it. So you have to look at it that way, is that a judge actually saw fit to grant legal emancipation, and that what he was left was his 40 grand. So they must have been pretty awful.
For an example, I remember in recent memory there's a girl on that show Modern Family, very popular modern day sitcom, who got emancipated from her stage mother, who she said was very demanding, very controlling of her money, spending her money that she earned on things not doing wise.
Which one?
The
Sarah Hyland?
No. Ariel Winter?
Okay, yeah.
She got emancipated and went to live with her sister, much like Feldman. But that was on every TMZ, every magazine.
This was 30 years ago.
This would never even be mentioned. I guess in those days, People magazine would have been
A brief little thing.
a brief little snippet, maybe. But nothing like, So yeah, but it sounded to me like he had to pay his parents 40 grand to get loose of them.
I believe the opposite was actually true.
Right.
Even so, that's pretty bad.
Well, written and executive produced by
Right.
Corey Feldman. But now he's on his own. And his old handsy chaperone, Doug, is... I don't know why I keep saying Doug in question
quotes.
marks. That's his name. His name's Doug. I quit doing
This is
that.
the first time I knew anything about him. I don't know who.
Well, now he's somehow been hired as Corey Haim's full-time chaperone. And he's supplying him with all sorts of new drugs. And they throw him out. Acid, shrooms, crack. Wait for it. Heroin.
Sweet Lady H.
Sweet Lady H.
Nothing like refreshing crack.
And now he's riding the dragon.
Did you guys get any notes
Chasing
of the
the dragon?
dragon in your cigar?
I did
Sweet
not.
Lady H.
Getting a little bit of hints of opioid on the retro hill.
There's some crystal meth that I picked up at one point.
Well, they're full blown. Haim is portrayed.
Yeah, he's straight
out
on.
of it. He's-
Well, I do remember.
they're both out of it at this point. They're both doing it.
Yeah.
How much you're interested in it? Obviously, when you have a movie that sans commercials is an hour and 26 minutes, there's obviously going to be a lot of stuff that's glossed over. The timeline that we actually see in the movie that's coming up a little bit is a little different than the way things actually went in real life.
I'm okay with fudging it for the sake of
just for the sake of the discussion.
I believe it's Sans commercials.
I've heard it
It's
both
a French
ways.
word.
I was waiting for him to say he heard it both ways. We
Come
then
on,
cut
son.
to the 1988
Tighten
shoot.
up.
The 1988 shoot of one of my favorite Corey films, The Burbs.
One of my favorite movies.
Oh, The Burbs.
Finally, a film I've seen. Look, I'm one of the top 11 cigar experts in the universe, not film experts, all right?
I've seen the Burbs.
I can only do so much.
I've seen the Burbs a dozen times. I love that movie.
It is one of those, well, it's back when Tom Hanks was good.
It's a great movie.
I think The Burbs might have been. Was The Burbs before or after Dragnet?
After, released in '89,
Yeah,
about 2
it
years
was.
after.
Yeah.
But he's still in his very pre-Philadelphia Forrest Gump comedy
I think
stage.
The Burbs was Hank's last good movie. Old school Hanks.
Yeah. I could see that.
My favorite Tom Hanks movie is Dragnet. Or Bachelor Party, then Dragnet.
I'm
Then
a
they-
big fan of Bachelor
I'm
Party.
a big
I
fan
love
of the Burbs.
I love Volunteers.
I'm gonna go. You like the Male Born Red Shoe too. Oh, you like Joe and the Volcano.
Yeah,
hell
Joe and the
yeah.
Volcano's good. Yeah.
When was that?
That was 86.
In the same time period.
Right.
Okay. I go Bachelor Party, Dragnet, The Burbs. We're on the set of The Burbs now. Feldman is fucked up on set. We see this scene repetitively where he walks out the front door of a house and he has to deliver one line, and over and over and over again he can't get it right. The director's becoming frustrated. Finally, in between takes, he sits down in his chair.
Did you notice that there was an actor who's supposed to be Tom Hanks?
No.
Okay, so yeah, and a guy is actually
Probably because he looked nothing like Tom Hanks.
didn't look anything like him. A guy is credited in the movie as playing Tom Hanks. So the director of The Burbs was also the director of Gremlins, Joe Dante.
Yeah, no Joe Dante.
So that's who it's supposed to be.
Oh, I didn't realize it.
Standing next to him is a guy in the blue shorts and blue button-down shirt, but because Feldman is obviously not going to do anything to color Tom Hanks in any way, bad or good,
Sure.
the guy just stands there. He's standing there as he goes through all these takes, but there's a guy standing there in the shorts and shirt that Tom Hanks is wearing, and a guy is credited as having played Tom Hanks.
He looks nothing like Tom.
No.
He was known as Tom Banks.
Hom Banks.
Hom
Tanks.
Which leads to the new Peter Sullivan movie, The Wrong Tom Hanks.
I'd be in
The wrong Burbs.
the wrong Burbs. The wrong Hom Tanks.
Wrong Tom Banks.
No, I missed that. But he's so fucked up when he comes off the shooting the scene. He sits in Carrie Fisher's seat because they have their names on the seats. So Carrie Fisher comes over, who by the way looks nothing like
Nothing
Carrie
like her, yeah.
Fisher. And she wants to give a little bit of advice to young Feldman.
And this should be the sobering moment of your life.
She's been down this road before. The ultimate Hollywood crash. Well, she didn't really burn. Well, she didn't burn on the stage like they do nowadays.
Yeah.
But this was her on the upswing of drugs and alcohol. I mean, her ride is,
She was on drugs and alcohol way before then.
Oh, yes.
oh yeah, but I'm saying this is her Hollywood story is this, not
Yeah.
this.
She's sober at this point.
At
when
this
they make
point,
The
she's
Burbs.
sober, but a year later she could have.
Yeah.
But anyway, I know you're fooling everybody, but you're not, she says. You're no angel, Princess Leia, he says. That's true. I know you haven't got to see what the bottom looks like yet, but I just hope to God you never have to find out.
When you're getting drug advice from Carrie Fisher, listen.
Yeah, both ways. Like, this is the good shit, and stop doing this shit.
I don't know, just from the
She's so wise.
the accounts of what, she seemed like, behind, off screen. I just figured she'd like just come up and just slap him.
This interaction
Yeah.
is another one that falls into the category of did it happen or not? Because
She cannot
I
contest
am
it.
She's alive. Oh,
no,
No, she's not.
but
And-
she's lying.
Bringing that up.
Did he write this in his book?
I don't know if he wrote this in his book.
If it was in his book, she could have said something.
I
about
need
it.
to. I want to read the book now because, being a fan of the two Coreys, I'm pretty well versed in the history and the backstory. The only time I ever heard that this happened was right after she died, when everybody was giving their outpouring of, "Well, Carrie was sweet, Carrie was great, whatever," and that's when he said, "I'll always remember when she reached out to me on the set of The Burbs."
Chance to get his
And
name.
it's like, okay, it serves dual purposes. One, you join everybody else in saying a nice thing about Carrie and remind them of a movie you were in with her. I had never heard it before. Again, I'm not saying it didn't happen. It seems like something that very
It
well
is.
could have, but it's something I didn't hear about until after she died, which is a little over a year ago. I'd be interested to see if that's in his book, which is several years old. There's a lot of that in this movie, man. There's a lot of that.
if it was in his book when she was alive, she seems like a very vocal person that would have been like, that never happened.
It seems like a believable
Yeah.
thing.
But at the same time, it's complimentary. She tried to help. Why would she I never tried to help him.
I would never give him an encouraging word.
Why would she dispute this? She's one of the few people that he writes about that didn't get ass raped.
Yeah.
But then the mystery man took Carrie Fisher into the trailer. Oh, God.
No, but if we're going to explore all sides of it, if he is the scam artist that Corey Haim's mom says he is, mentioning it after she died when she can't dispute it
It's very opportunistic.
is something to remind people about yourself. Again, I want to believe him, but I'm going to go buy the book. I'm going to order the book off Amazon and read it because it
I'll
was
be honest, I
several
was
years
kind
ago.
of hoping you would have done that before the show and done your homework.
Well, I've done quite a bit of homework, actually.
You've been great tonight. I'm just teasing.
I've actually carried this show tonight.
Tut, it's time to go back to the boys' club.
At this point, all right, fuck it.
Do what you got to do.
I'm so tired.
That's when I sit down next to Tut. I hope you never get to the... Oh, you've been... I'm so sorry.
I can see the pain in your eyes.
Wait,
good
you two
job.
are driving by the Taco Bell at 3 in the morning and you see me in the back of me with the glasses on. I don't want to get out. I don't want to get out. I don't want a Taco Bell.
Carrie Fisher bought me a potato gordito crunch taco back in 1986, and it was phenomenal.
If Carrie Fisher bought it, I'm eating it.
I ate it, and I washed it down with a Princess Leia collectible glass.
Again, not to belabor the point, it sounds like something that would be very believable.
It is.
But again, if
Feldman has a way of painting his little intimate scenes in a very glorious, positive... Look at my memories of Hollywood royalty. They're so great.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Corey's in the bathroom getting reamed by Doug.
But at the same time, like, man, I just don't know what to believe because I've seen like interviews of Haim a little bit further on to where the dude was just gone. I mean, he was just so into fucking
But does he
heroin
claim
that
to be sober for decades?
Feldman?
Yes.
Yes, Feldman claims, and when they show him getting arrested.
Or well, let's wait till we get to that.
But yes, he went to rehab and has supposedly been clean since 1990.
Okay.
The very end of it. The very end of 90. Early 91.
So all that dancing and music he's doing now is sober?
By his account, yes.
well, like I said, depending on what he was doing.
Well, you can now see during the Dream a Little Dream press junket in '89 that Feldman, who has now gone to dressing in full Michael Jackson clothes,
and in
like-
the
yeah,
movie Dream
like
a
he
Little
did,
Dream,
like he did.
there's a scene where the chick he's flirting with,
that movie I have seen.
he does the dance moves, and
Actually-
they are as horrible as the portrayal.
Actually, I have not seen that movie.
And yet they do nothing to address it.
That's one where Craig Sheffer doesn't want people messing with his girl, and she's like the drummer and Eric
No, that's
Stoltz.
Some Kind of Wonderful.
Oh.
Feldman wasn't in that.
What's Dream a Little Dream?
This is a body switch comedy involving Jason Robards and Harry Dean Stanton.
And Kirk Cameron.
No.
Cameron.
No.
Yeah, that was. I
This is
remember that
another
body
felt-
switch
this-
story.
Who does Kirk Cameron trade bodies with?
I don't know, but I can tell you about
Dustin
Dream a Little
Hoffman?
Dream.
It's Robards.
Christ, no. It's Robards and Harry Dean Stanton.
Kirk Cameron
That's a
switched
horror
with
movie.
somebody.
You trade bodies with Harry Dean Stanton. That's
No,
a
Robards.
terrifying
No,
movie.
Jason
No,
Robards.
Jason Robards.
That's even worse. That's a terrifying movie.
It was. It really was.
There was a movie where Kirk Cameron
Yeah,
traded bodies
I
with
remember that.
Judge Reinhold, maybe?
Like father, like,
Like
son.
father,
It was,
like son.
it was Dudley Moore. Dudley Moore, yeah.
Oh, God, that's a nightmare, too.
I wake up in this.
The late 80s had several body switch comedies.
Apparently.
Like Father, Like Son was Kirk Cameron and Dudley Moore.
Okay.
Dream a Little Dream, it's got Feldman and Haim. They're high school buddies. Feldman's totally Michael Jacksoned out. Jason Robards and Harry Dean Stanton are these old pals. Jason Robards is doing some spiritual yoga, and he somehow transforms his brain into Feldman. Feldman goes into a dream state, hence the name Dream a Little Dream, that he doesn't want to come out of because the life of the American teenager in 1989 is so terrible. And Robards has to exist in Feldman's body and mind while he tries to hit on that hot Meredith Salinger chick.
Oh, she was great back then.
I can see why
Who
this
goes
flopped.
into Harry Dean Stanton?
Nobody.
Okay.
He's Robards' old buddy, who also visits him in the dream state. The movie bombed, in case you're wondering.
It was not good. I was all about it. Like, yeah, Corey's and that hot chick.
I want to say Fred Savage did a movie where he jumped into an
Him
adult
and Judge
body.
Reinhold did another body switch comedy called Vice Versa.
There's 3 of these movies.
Am I getting points for this shit? Fuck IMDb, the Internet Doctor Database, the
Guess-
IDDB.
Guess what our first triple feature is going to be on the show?
God. Anything but that.
Actually, Like Father, Like Son is one of those good bad movies.
I like
It
it.
is.
I liked it. Yeah.
It is. I remember it.
I want to
And-
jump into Stormy Daniels' body.
Do
Are you gonna follow Trump?
Wait a minute. I didn't think that out.
I'm gonna grab Matt
Are
Cain's
you saying
foot.
you want to
I like
switch?
the- I like the
or
fact
you just
that-
want to jump into it.
I like the fact that there's been a lot of people that's jumped into it. And I'm
Take
like,
me away, learning juice.
I want to apologize to me.
The English-speaking peoples.
I'm with Doctor. Let me drink a little. So there was actually 3 body switching movies, of which apparently I didn't see any of them. Because
I would actually recommend Like Father, Like Son, the Kirk Cameron, Dudley Moore one.
I think that was the one I remember. That's the one I did see. Although I thought
Yeah.
Fred Savage jumped into
Judge Reinhold in the movie Vice Versa.
that just sounds bad too.
And in this one, Jason Robards, he
I'm
jumps
drawing
in
the
Feldman.
line. I'm drawing the line.
No body switching movies.
No,
Not
I'm
for a
tired.
while.
I'm tired of people jumping into other people.
Steve Buscemi jumps into Jason Tuttle, and
She's doing our part to make America horny again.
Ugh.
Let's do that.
That will make no one horny.
I think we've just made America never had sex again.
We're doing the opposite of what Stormy Daniels is trying so
And
hard
now
to
we
do.
have introduced a new age of Puritanism.
All right.
Tuttle's naming up his Martin Luther points on the door of the corner of No Hope. Tuttle's 95 points.
Well, they're on the press junket in 1989 for Dream a Little Dream. Feldman is completely decked out in Michael Jackson clothes. He's really just playing his guitar, and he's so tired of the party scene.
Right.
But Haim is plowing forward full speed ahead. At this point, maybe actually a bit sooner in the tale, I thought about mentioning this earlier, but I was like, now's as good a time as any. I finally got to a point where I was buying these actors as them. It was,
I was
impossible
still-
earlier.
Well, they didn't look.
But dude,
it was young John Cusack.
And
I'm sorry.
I know, but once he got the long Feldman hair,
Yeah.
I'm finally kind of buying these guys as who they are.
Yeah.
Now, granted, in a minute we're going to jump to them a decade later, and I buy those 2 guys way better.
Way more.
Oh, yeah.
Way more.
But
yeah.
but at this point, I am actually like, all right, you know what? I'm watching. I'm okay. I just wanted to throw that out there. So we see Haim continuing to do lines, coke, party his ass off, while Feldman drives around contemplatively. Contemplatively, is that a word?
Yes.
Contemplatively, yes.
smoking cigarettes in that Feldman way that Tut likes
That
to...
weird.
Hey, he did his research. He smokes them like Feldman.
He really did.
Thinking about life until he's pulled over for running a stop sign.
Yeah, because he would do that like in Blown Away, and I was just kind of like, what?
No, we made fun of the way he
fuck?
smoked cigarettes, and that little actor nailed it. But he runs a stop sign, he gets pulled over, and gets busted for coke possession. While he's locked up, though, he sees Michael Jackson on a TV. The jail guys are watching, and Michael says, "Keep marching forward for the fans. That's what I do. I never give up." And that inspires him. Always with the MJ. He's up on that pedestal. So once he's out of jail, Feldman tries to convince Haim to go to rehab with him, but his buddy is having none of it. So Feldman heads off to treatment solo, and we cut to 1 month later. Feldman's waiting for Haim to pick him up from rehab, but it's probably not the best idea when you beg your friend to go to rehab with you, and he won't. Asking him to pick you up from rehab?
And actually,
are we going to the bar?
He's probably fucked up.
I believe the real timeline, and this is, like you said, it's one of those things you've got to gloss over. The actual timeline is, I believe Feldman was arrested twice in a 6-month period.
Oh, executive producer, writer Corey Feldman left the 2 arrests off.
You can gloss that one out here, and I don't mind it. I think he was arrested, and he may have been arrested once buying drugs from an undercover cop.
But he didn't gloss over the 2 times Haim was raped by people on
I'm just
set.
saying that the situation was, I think he got arrested once.
Corey, we got to cut some things out of the script for time. Do we get rid of the 2 ass rapes of Corey Haim? No. Leave those in. Get rid of that second arrest I had.
I think he got one of those go to jail or rehab things, and he went and has supposedly been clean ever since.
All right. Well, I call bullshit on that script trimming. All right. Well, how do we just?
I kind of call bullshit on him being clean ever since the 90s.
Well, unless he did some really good shit in the 90s.
That's what. Yeah, that's true.
That's,
that's true. I mean, depending on what you do,
if
that shit can fuck you up.
And acid and stuff. That stuff can. That stuff can last.
Yeah. No, I agree.
You were on the Travis Tritt tour. You know what?
I've seen what it does.
You know what it does.
No, I've seen what it does.
That's what I meant.
I don't know what it does.
No, you're lucid as... You're clear as the day is long.
I'm sorry, I kind of
I'm vouching for you like Feldman vouches for Haim.
Which is to say, not at all.
I can't wait till Tut kicks over so I can write my bio
Oh,
picture.
God.
The wrong headphones.
Followed by the sequel. The wrong camera.
Haim does not show up to pick Feldman up because he OD'd out by the pool. Full-blown cardiac arrest. He's rushed to the ER. His mom finds him, barely survives. His mom, who all of a sudden gives a shit, sits at his bedside singing him little nursery rhymes like she did when he was young. She is not... Mrs. Haim is not portrayed kindly in this film. She's portrayed as an enabler.
Yeah.
While she's not the coked out floozy that Feldman's mom is, she's not maternal.
Well, it's kind of like what Doctor said earlier. You know, there's that choice
it took cardiac
between
arrest for her to. Oh, you have a problem?
Being a mom and having your mortgage paid.
Yeah. We then jump ahead 10 years or so, maybe more.
I think it's 15.
15 to
Which glosses over all the movies they did together in the 90s.
Blown Away.
The Blown-Aways and all that.
To Feldman at his agent's office. He's already done the Surreal Life, the reality show where he was married.
I vaguely remember
married
that.
on.
Yeah.
Am I wrong, Doctor? Stop me if I am. I'll just. Wasn't your mom a big Surreal Life fan?
I believe Feldman was on the first year of it.
I remember you telling me something about your mom.
I watched. My mom is a reality television junkie. Watches all of it. Watches the Kardashians. Watches all the Real Housewives show. I watched some of that first Surreal Life with her. It was Feldman, MC Hammer.
Yeah.
Vince Neil was on there?
Vince Neil.
Yeah.
Who, that's when you could tell, like, Vince Neil was just drunk all the time. Like, he just didn't really
He's always bringing, like... big titty chicks on the.
Well, he's always just drinking something.
Yeah.
And like Feldman's gonna marry his girlfriend that was his first wife, and like Vince Neil was like, he wants to marry his girlfriend on the show. Asked me to the wedding. That's cool. He does a shot of something.
I believe MC Hammer married Corey Feldman on the show.
I think he performed the wedding.
Yeah, I think you're
right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Well, Corey's super frustrated that he has had no real acting offers. I did The Surreal Life. It was a big hit. Why aren't I getting like legitimate thespian type stuff? But it's all strictly reality shows on the table. He has a son now. He says he's $80,000 in debt, and I got no options. Haim, meanwhile, is living in Toronto, Canada with his mom, far away from Hollywood. 2 new actors are portraying the Coreys at this point, and they look so much more like them.
They do.
Immediately, I believe them as them.
I will say this for all the actors, all the Haim actors, they got Haim always had this weird, like, open mouth resting type deal, and he had a borderline lisp. And all of the actors up to this point actually got that.
The young guy playing Haim in the first hour of the film, I gravitated quickly more towards him believing it than the Feldman guy was
nothing.
No,
nothing.
The older 2 really do look,
but the
like
older
them.
2 really nailed it.
Yeah,
mannerisms and looks.
Right. And you got older actors, so.
Well, Haim is still popping pills, but he's taking care of his sick mother. They never go into that.
He's on an outpatient program.
He's in an outpatient rehab program. He says he's taking care of his sick mom. They show her she's got real thin hair, like maybe she's been through chemo. But they don't tell us anything about that. He's playing hockey again. They show him like out at the local park playing rollerblade hockey.
What's weird is that I saw an interview from this time, and Haim was definitely not sober.
Well, they show him that first scene with his mom. He's sneaking some pills with his juice.
Yeah.
Like, he never quits.
Oh, he was fucked up. I mean, like, in terms of your 1 to 10 scale of fucked upness on drugs, he was definitely an 8+.
Well, in fact, he's playing rollerblade hockey when his old buddy Feldman shows up after they haven't seen each other in, I think they say 3 to 5.
Which was weird because the interview I saw, I think he was actually on a rollerblade court.
And the guy loved hockey.
Yeah.
Feldman shows up with his son to talk him into doing a new scripted reality show. He tries to convince Haim it's not reality. It's like we get to have some say in the storylines and what happens. It'll help get our faces back out there. And Haim's thing is, can it help us get Lost Boys 2?
My belief is all reality TV is scripted reality.
Well, no, nowadays I believe it is. I think in the early stages it was a lot more turn the cameras on compared to today. I mean, the Kardashians, it's all scripted. You're not getting anything raw.
I think it was that way.
No surprises.
I think it was that way from the beginning.
But Haim, his thing is, can this help us get Lost Boys 2? He's always seen this. We get it as his comeback. That was his big thing. He wants Lost Boys 2 to happen. Well, it turns out
Loster Boys?
He agreed. Loster Boys?
The Wrong Lost Boys by Peter Sullivan.
The Found Boys.
A Christmas Lost Boys special by Peter Sullivan?
The Lost Stocking Boys.
The Lost Christmas Boys. The Wrong Lost Christmas Boys by Peter
Starring
Sullivan.
Patrick Muldoon as Father O'Reilly.
And Connie Selica as Mother Mary.
And TNCC's The Doctor
as Kris Kringle.
as Kris Kringle.
How'd that get past the censors?
Do you want to boys get presents?
I've been a good boy, Doctor.
Do you want to ride in Santa's sleigh?
You want to go for a ride with Kris Kringle?
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Sit on Kris Kringle's lap.
The Wrong Podcast. Well, it turns out as a result of he agrees to do the reality show reluctantly. Lost Boys 2 is happening.
Yes.
Feldman gets the call. But while Feldman has a major role, the producers don't want to gamble on Haim. he can have a cameo at best, but he's got to go to rehab, real rehab first. None of this outpatient shit where you go for an hour and then you go do drugs the other 23 hours of the day. By the way, if I ever
Doug
get sent to
always-
rehab,
I've been on that outpatient program with my drinking for 20 years now.
if you guys ever send me to rehab, I want that program.
I'm on an outpatient program.
I want the outpatient
I'm on it
program
right
where
now.
Doug shows up with his lines of coke. Come on.
Oh, I thought Doug with the other stuff.
No, not Doug with the other stuff. Stop touching me,
The
Doctor.
wrong Doug.
the wrong Doug.
Is there a right Doug?
With Steve Buscemi as Jason Tuttle.
I'm watching
And the
that
Tuesday
show.
Night Cigar Club's doctor as Doug.
Oh, God. Buscemi's going to ask. Hallmark money movie for that.
Directed
one.
by Peter the Peter Sullivan.
It's the movie I was made to direct, baby.
Actually, I wrote down on my notes.
That's when Buscemi's like, you've got the wrong Buscemi.
I wrote down.
That's a great idea.
The wrong
Buscemi.
I wrote down the wrong headphones, aka the Jason Tuttle Diaries.
Yeah, it can
I
happen.
like it. I like it.
God, this stuff makes me smarter. Why am I doing this? Why?
Oh,
Why?
do it. It really. We didn't talk enough about the whiskey. It is really good.
It is.
It's sweet. It does have that whiskey back end, which you don't get with bourbon. We always drink bourbon on the show. You don't get that whiskey back end with bourbon. Bourbon is I find the same head to foot. You know, you don't get that a lot of. With whiskey, you do get that back end, and this you get that smooth, sweet bourbon taste on the front end, but you get a little bit of bite on the back.
Rev, Matthew 25:27. Wherefore by their clothing ye shall know them.
I don't.
said
I don't know what that means.
right before he took off their clothing.
It was a joke.
Oh,
Insinuating that no, it's a real Bible verse.
Oh.
It insinuates that the Rev is a wolf in sheep's clothing, but we know he's not. But he provides us good whiskey.
Oh,
So much nuance. He's
Rev,
not-
you'll appreciate the scriptures. These three heathens.
I've got my sheepskin leggings.
I don't
I'm
even know
about to
when
do the
I'm being
pagan dance.
sarcastic anymore.
The Wrong Irony by Peter Sullivan.
Starring
Well-
Thomas Caballero as
It's when all the pills
Matt
spill
Cade.
onto the table.
Thomas
Hay
Caballero as
fever.
Matthew Cade.
and Grant Show as Yak Boy. Yeah, he did good. Where was I? Oh God, here we go. This is the point of the night where thank God I'm on my last page of
Yeah,
notes.
let's get this over with. They're wanting to make Lost Boys
Well,
2.
we're drinking this inordinate amount of stuff here. We're talking about
That never happens.
but I think it's all holding together extremely well considering.
Sure.
Says us. The real test will be
The wrong judges.
what does Peter Sullivan think of tonight's show?
I've never had so much fun talking about teenage molestation. It's awesome.
That's our quote for the
No,
beginning
that
of the
is
show.
not our quote. We'll totally no.
You thought it was.
Last episode, I picked a quote and he vetoed it. He didn't
It's
say
like,
it.
I don't want my
You
name
thought
on
you
this.
thought that wasn't getting captured.
He still thinks he's going to get on a school board at some point. Good luck with that,
What?
you asshole.
Let's revisit that later.
Well, Haim is not digging this cameo in Lost Boys 2, and he's especially not digging the mandated rehab stint that they wanted to do. It's a devastating blow, especially because he says over the years he actually wrote a script for Lost Boys 2. He wanted this to happen so bad. He wrote a script for it. That's how bad he wanted this movie to happen. It's our comeback vehicle together. Like, we should be the headliners in this thing. I don't want a cameo. Well, when he learns that he'll have a small role at best, contingent upon him entering rehab, he loses it. But common sense prevails, which isn't so common with these two.
Yeah.
And Haim agrees to let Feldman take him to a rehab facility in Los Angeles. But when Feldman picks him up, he insists on one last drink. Hey, you don't expect me to go into rehab sober. I can understand that.
I was about to say, I'm not going to object too hard
That
on
I'm
this.
not going. That's the only thing in this movie I'm like, I understand.
If I ever go and I plan never to do it, I want to be taken somewhere to drink first.
It's kind of the Ned Flanders. Do you want to go quietly or kicking and screaming?
Oh, kicking and screaming, please.
I'm going kicking and screaming and drunk.
I kind of.
I understand this move by Haim. So he takes him to Fiesta Time, a Mexican restaurant, for some margaritas. That turns out to be a all caps big mistake. Haim,
But you knew it was going to.
well, you think if
You know what? Before I go, let's just get Schnocker.
And they actually act out this scene on an episode of the Two Corys reality show. It's in a diner somewhere, but
Really?
they actually have the whole
is a real scene.
The face-off they have there actually happens.
Okay. Well, Haim, with a few margaritas in him, brings up the fact that he was raped by a guy that Feldman introduced him to, Doug.
No,
Thanks.
Or
Marty
Weissman.
who's Dominic Brassia.
But I think Doug also raped him at some point.
Probably.
Or he did stuff with Doug.
Apparently, everybody did.
He also blames Feldman for all the scars on his wrist that he tries to cover up with bracelets when he tried to kill himself. You know what, man? You're really detrimental to my health, and I can't be your friend anymore. And then, how many times have we said that to each other?
You can watch the real scene on YouTube.
Tuttle said that pretty much earlier.
Oh yeah.
You can watch the
On
real
break.
scene on YouTube from the Two Corys reality show.
Well, he gets up and stumbles out drunk. Their Corey versus Corey act, blaming each other for everything wrong in their lives, basically comes to a head as they start fighting in the alley behind Fiesta Time Mexican restaurant. They go at it, and the end result is a bloody Corey Haim getting dropped off at rehab by a bloody Feldman. They fought it out and dumped his ass off at rehab. Cut to 3 years later at a Hollywood party. A sober Feldman walks in and runs into a quote-unquote sober Haim. He just got cast in a cameo role, which he jokes like, I know I had a problem with cameo, but I got a cameo in the new Jason Statham movie, Crank 2, which he was actually pretty good in.
He was.
Yes.
The Crank sequel.
He was clearly not healthy. He'd gained a ton of weight.
He says, you know what? It's a start.
Yeah.
Getting
And
my
he
career
was
out
good
there.
in that.
He was.
It could have turned into something for him.
I remember watching Crank 2, though, like, holy shit. That movie was so crazy anyway.
It was great.
I
Those
was
Crank
like-
movies are great.
Those Crank movies are insane, but then it was like Corey Haim made it even crazier. Well, they hug it out, which you don't really... I thought that scene was actually like... Without getting into specifics, but I always wonder about bumping into people from my past after a long void, and like, especially after a bitter end, like how do you do it? Like, what would you do? And I thought they played that scene really kind of well. They're both hesitant, like go for the handshake and it turns into a hug.
Feldman seems almost like he's prepared to walk the away.
But
he did.
But these actors are so good. These guys playing them at old age. You see kind of something in their eyes where, you know what?
You see actors.
We could say, hey man, good for you, and I'm gonna go my way and your way. Or it could be like, you know what? Let's go talk. And they choose to go talk. That moment felt very convincing and real to me.
Yeah.
Unlike a lot of stuff in this movie, that moment felt very real to me. So Feldman's like, hey, why don't I give you a ride? I think kind of it was paternal, like, I don't want to leave you at this Hollywood party. You say you're sober and there's a lot of drink and drug around here.
Well, I think that party is like the Playboy Mansion.
Oh no, there's girl, but it wasn't the Playboy Mansion, but there was girls in Playboy bunny hats everywhere.
Yeah.
But so he's like, let me give you a ride in my limo.
I did love the line where Haim's looking
they
around.
would be riding around limos, or
Yeah, I was kind of curious about that.
Feldman would be there on his own or an Uber.
I did like the line where
driven by Doug.
because
Everybody needs to work.
I do think that this was like I think this was the Playboy Mansion, and they were like, Haim delivers this line like, I could have really, back in the day, I could have really done some damage here. I could have really torn this place up. And Feldman was like, you did.
Oh, there is a scene. He's like, let me get you out of here. And I think you're right. The limo driver's Marty Weiss.
Hey guys,
Where are we going, boys?
we heading, boys?
Well, on their way to take Haim home, he asks, "Hey, can we make a little stop first?" And he has them take them to the beach.
They play football.
The limo driver takes them to the beach where they first met, where they played that football game with their dads. Haim thanks Feldman for everything.
Written and produced by Corey Feldman.
Oh, no line in this movie is more written by Corey Feldman than this line. Haim says, "I can finally see the world through your eyes, and it's beautiful." They do their secret handshake from the first time they met, and they both say, "The two Coreys." To the two Coreys. The end.
Dun dun dun.
Boy, that ending was so Feldman-rific.
Man, that Corey Feldman is a saint.
I finally see what life is like if I was Corey Feldman. It is awesome. That's what he said. I was there. He said it. I wouldn't have put it in this movie if he didn't say it.
Wouldn't he?
Which brings the merry-go-round full circle.
Can you believe all of what Feldman does in this movie? Can you believe parts if you don't believe other parts?
The truth is somewhere in the middle, man.
You know, I actually saw Corey Feldman. It's probably like 2011 or 2012
in person.
in person. He was at. I went to a comic book convention. They had a little horror section, and he was there. He was promoting. Actually, it was like the third Lost Boys movie.
Still lost.
I didn't go over. I just I was walking through, and they had like a couple of guys that had played like Jason and Michael Myers. Right. But he was there, and I was like, I walked there, I was like, a little crowd, in the line. I didn't get an autograph or anything. But I just looked over, and I was like, oh my god,
you have a big crowd, I imagine.
A little bit, yeah. But I mean, he seemed so disinterested in signing the pictures or doing anything like that. I mean, and of course he had this. I don't know if it was his wife or girlfriend, but typical
Doug.
No,
did he have a handler?
No, it was probably a really hot chick.
It was. I mean,
The Fallen Angels.
big fake boobs and everything.
Angels
I
of
mean,
Mercy.
In Los Angeles, she would not look out of place. In Dallas, Texas, she stood out. Because you're like looking at him, and then you're looking at this completely smoking hot babe, and you're like, yeah, if he wasn't Corey Feldman, this would not be happening.
She's a big Goonies fan.
But like I said, he just seemed completely like checked out, and he's supposed to be there, like shaking hands and thanks for everything, for fans and whatnot. And I was like, no, I don't.
So, I said I'd give an opinion, and I would. I will right now. What's interesting is, obviously, Kate and I have some experience in how motion pictures work. And it would seem that the timing of this film was perfect, considering the wake of the nationwide and worldwide sexual harassment scandals that are going on. However, because you and I know a little bit about motion pictures, this may have come out now.
We've done some things in the talkies for a while.
This film would have been shot probably a year ago,
before the Me Too movement,
and conceived and written about even earlier, so it didn't really coincide with what's going on now. So I will always have a soft spot in my heart for both the Coreys, because of those movies that came out at that time, in a specific time in our lives. And you really want to believe Feldman. You've made a great point about talking about how can you be disingenuous about these things. Given what has recently transpired with Harvey Weinstein, with Kevin Spacey, the fact that Feldman, and again, this is my opinion, I'm not slandering anyone or committing any libel, it's just my opinion. Given the fact that these people have been outed and are losing what careers they had, the fact that he refuses to name the name of this mysterious movie mogul and I've seen him make two different defenses for it. One was that if he outed the guy, he'd be killed.
He's asked for, if I'm going to name him, you have to pay for me to have a 24-hour bodyguards.
And the second defense was, which to me, I've always thought, okay, but if you possess knowledge that someone's going to kill for, wouldn't they kill you before you said anything?
They would know.
And the other thing is, I've seen his other defense, which is, I saw him on a talk show where the guy was like asking him if he'd name the person, and he said, well, are you going to protect me legally? Because I'll be sued. Because, my thought is, okay, if it can't be proven because Corey Haim told you this, doesn't that also act as your defense against a lawsuit? No, you can't take the guy to court because it's something Corey Haim said, but can someone sue you for it if you're like, hey, that's what he told me? So as much as I want to believe Feldman, as much as I have a soft spot in his heart, my personal opinion, and it's just my opinion, I don't know what's true and what isn't. My personal opinion is the unnamed movie mogul thing is bullshit. And that I'm siding with Haim's mother, that this actor Dominic Brassia did molest her son once 30 years ago. But as much as it really puts him in a bad light, I just feel like at this point, who's more powerful than Harvey Weinstein? If you can't name a name, it's either bullshit or it's somebody who's completely unimportant. It isn't some movie mogul producer that people are going to know. That's my opinion. I wish I felt differently, but that's my final kind of opinion on it.
That's some good logic there, actually.
I think that's valid. I think I'm going to give an opinion that is not necessarily on Corey Feldman's recollection of these events.
And 30 years ago, we'll produce a lot of haze, especially if you use some drugs.
It is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But here's going to be my final kind of statement on this film we watched. I'm going to take one last, my final. Yak boy, clink glasses with me. Down it. I don't care what happened to the Coreys. We'll never know. True, false, we won't know. My opinion is the portrait that Corey Feldman painted with the movie we watched tonight painted him in an incredibly flattering light.
No argument.
And painted his so-called soulmate, his brother, as a weak victim, a susceptible victim, not only to drugs and to success, but to any, with little to no coercion, sexual predator could just grab him by the hand and pull him into a bathroom and have his way with him. If you have any self-respect and self-love and a concept in your heart of friendship and brotherhood, you would never make this movie. Corey Haim can't defend himself. We'll never know, like you said, what actually happened. But for a so-called best friend to make a Lifetime movie to show you get repeatedly taken advantage of so easily and be so okay with it.
If I really cared about you, I'm telling everybody who that mogul is.
And Feldman claims,
but even if you didn't do that, Tut, you wouldn't turn around 20 years from now and write a fucking Lifetime movie and show me weak and a victim and going into these bathrooms and going into all this and doing all that.
And Feldman claims that Haim wanted him to tell the story after his death. And again, that's where, remember in Terminator when the doctor's like, this is great, it doesn't require a shred of proof. That's what's great about this story.
I can make a career off this guy.
I'm sorry, Feldman, but if you're saying Corey Haim always told me tell this story if something happens to me, it doesn't require any proof.
Even if everything in this movie happened, Corey Feldman is a shitty fucking friend.
I agree.
This story didn't need to be told.
I agree. I'm sorry.
There
when
was other than the one time in the bathroom,
when Mark,
there was no fighting. I'm sorry, but I mean,
no, even
we were all kids of the 80s.
Even when Marty Weiss,
our parents told us if someone is fight, kick, scream.
Feldman produced this film. Even that scene where Haim gets taken to the bathroom, there's no fighting.
no,
And that's what I'm saying.
He leaves him in there with no.
and it's all cool.
You don't say it's all part of the boys' club. Any dude that walked up to me, to anyone else, I was told.
What's your collective level of belief that Haim wanted him to tell the story if something happened to him?
0?
That's kind of what I'm
Is
getting
that what
at.
I'm sorry,
you want your legacy to be that you, with no resistance, just walked into sexual abuse right
I'm
and
going to
left?
take this to my grave. I don't want to talk about it, but after I die, I want you to tell this story.
No.
That's Feldman's stance.
It is impossible to say what actually happened, but it is very possible to say that you're a shitty fucking friend, because this story has no reason to be told. Tell your story.
Yeah.
Tell what happened to you, Corey Feldman. But don't you painted your best friend, supposedly your brother, as a weak, no spine victim who repeatedly got abused over and over again.
I think,
And then apparently, according to the doctor, on his deathbed, he's like, "Tell my story." I don't buy that for one goddamn second.
I think it's more accurate when you think about the jealousy he had when Haim got the license to drive part. This was Feldman still being jealous of Haim.
If you're going on that thing, then this is a revenge piece.
It kind of is.
And this is the final fuck you. I got the last executive producer credit.
I don't think it's that.
And guess what? It's a Lifetime movie. A year from now, nobody's going to give a shit about this.
No, they're not.
I just see it as a shitty fucking piece of friendship. I see you shitting on what might have been a special friendship.
I'm just saying, if you were a good friend, you would have stopped that dude in the bathroom. I don't care if you're 15. I don't care if you're. I don't care if it's the 80s.
I see it as two-tier. You can go the Tuttle aspect. You're a shitty friend for not stopping it as a teenager in the bathroom. We all said you're teenagers. It's the 80s. You're in a real world. Okay, that's fine, valid. But I also see you're a man in his 40s, or what is he in his 50s now?
He's 46.
Mid-40s now. You have no reason to expose your supposed brother, your supposed best friend, your soulmate, the two Coreys. Let's open up all these wounds and let's show you him at his worst and all this. For what?
The
money, baby.
I'm curious. The unnamed movie mogul that we don't see, only from his backside. I've stated my opinion. What do you guys think about that? There's no way to know.
I don't know.
We're not slandering.
I just don't know.
I think it's a safe way for Feldman to tell a story. I don't know who it was. He never gave me any clues.
No, Feldman says he knows who it is.
But he doesn't.
Feldman.
No, he says that he
claims
won't.
100% that he knows there's a movie mogul in his words.
If he had exposed him, that would have given this movie some justification.
But didn't Feldman? But
he's still right. He still right now won't say who it is because he either fears for his life or.
Oh no! I've seen him on Dr. Oz. I've seen him
Feldman
on Dr.
says
Phil.
that he gave the.
I'll be killed if I tell who it is.
But Feldman
So
says that he gave
that?
Who the fuck is bigger than Harvey Weinstein?
That's why I'm calling bullshit on that.
But
unless Steven Spielberg himself raped Corey fucking Haim on the set of The Goonies.
It was Martin Scorsese the entire time.
Or I guess Haim wasn't even in The Goonies.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, Feldman states now he has, since Haim's death.
The fact that he won't name names is bullshit. I'll be killed. I need 24 hours.
It was Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein's taught us anything. It's like, once you get the name out there, you're safe.
The Wrong Weinstein by
Nobody
Peter
can hurt
Sullivan.
you. It's not the 80s. You're protected by the press.
But didn't he give, like, the Los Angeles police information? And
Look,
then now
in this instance,
they've redone it. They've
Los
reopened
Angeles
it
And
up.
they went back and they're like, he did give us a name, and it was not some huge mogul. It wasn't the head of Paramount Studios.
Okay, first of all,
it was some low-level dude.
And here's the thing, if there was an instance at this point, the cops could come forward and say, give us this name, or that is an obstruction of justice. Yeah, I know. Movies always portray it as, well, we can't force you to say who the name is. The fuck they can't.
But there was something here.
It's the fucking.
But there was something
police,
here recently that,
and they can charge you with not coming forward, especially if you know crime.
But there was something here recently to where
Corey was on Dr. Oz. This is recent. Corey was on Dr. Oz before this movie.
Yeah, after the Matt Lauer incident.
No, before that. Corey was on there talking about his experience in Hollywood. And Dr. Oz called bullshit on him reporting this to the police. So they took Corey behind the scenes. They showed it on Dr. Oz. They called the LAPD. And they're like, is there a record of Corey Feldman reporting this back in the... And there was. And did he name names? Yes, he did. Did you follow? It was a huge thing. Let's negate that for right now because we got nowhere to go with that. Let's go with just this.
No, I think you have to include that because
No.
Because
Keep that in mind, but let's go just with this. Let's say he knows who the mystery man was who initially raped Corey Haim. Let's say he knew it went higher up to a secret chain of Hollywood pedophiles who preyed on these young... Let's say it all
which
like that.
Which is what he claims.
Which is what he claims. Let's give all that 100% credence. He made a movie here. He executive produced a Lifetime Sunday night movie here, which portrayed his best friend as a weak, helpless... Every time he was raped, he was led willingly into the trailer, into the bathroom, everything.
And by your own admission within this movie, you never fought it. You fought the guys in the bathroom, but you never fought. Like, if you were willing to fight for yourself in the bathroom, why didn't you fight for your friend?
I'm going to fight for the swirly, but the other stuff.
I mean, you just stood there while the guy took your buddy into the bathroom, and you never hey guys, where are you going?
But he didn't hesitate one bit to sign that check, sign that Lifetime agreement, and throw his fucking buddy under the bus to make him look like a weak-willed individual who...
I'm with you.
He's a shitty friend, and this is not libel. This is not subject to debate. He's a shitty fucking friend. If he had any respect for Corey Haim whatsoever and the legacy of the two Coreys, this film, we wouldn't be talking about it because he'd never make it. Let someone else make the two Coreys and their version of their legacy.
Yeah.
And then you can sit back and say, that's not right, that's right, that's right. But don't you put your fucking name on this as a writer and executive producer. Make your friend look like a weak-ass piece of shit who couldn't handle anything, and you were better at him at every turn, and you were trying your best to steer him right. While he was doing blow and sucking dicks, you were driving around contemplating God and smoking cigarettes. You painted yourself in this holier-than-thou redemption scene while you're painting your best friend...
Redemption. Haim's mother claims that Feldman wants $10 million to do a documentary on Hollywood pedophiles.
He wants a GoFundMe. If I can raise $10 million, which will all go towards bodyguards to protect me from dying.
Jeez. Well, when we did the movie with Mario Van Peebles,
The Wrong Mario by Peter Sullivan.
Mantervention.
Oh
Man
no,
to-
I'm not talking about that one.
That was
what?
the only Mario Van Peebles movie we
Okay,
did.
sorry.
He was dressed in.
What was the one where it was like he was on a beach and they were saving some resort?
South Beach Academy.
South Beach Academy.
That was the Heyman.
No, it was
That was
Feldman.
Feldman.
That was Feldman.
So when we did
Grandpa Al Lewis.
Elizabeth Kaitan.
when we did South Beach Academy, and I was like, I'm amazed somebody like modern day doesn't cast Feldman as like, you know, some skeezy villain or something like that. He still has a presence. He still has it. The fact that America loves comeback stories. They love, you know, the John Travolta being gone for 12 years and then all of a sudden popping back up and in a huge
That's
way.
what he saw this Lifetime movie being like. They're gonna love my redemption story. How I was so strong when
Right, but
when Haim was weak.
but the fact that nobody's knocking on that door, that should tell you a lot.
that should
I mean,
tell you that
what it's
you
like
came
to-
across as a fucking asshole from this project. This backfired in your face.
When the
Feldman.
movie aired 2 weeks ago on Lifetime, he did an interview right afterward where he was like saying, "This is the G-rated version of what
If
happened."
this was his attempt at,
Give me $10 million and I'll
If-
make the R
you
rated.
know, okay,
version.
if this
Throughout
was
this movie, you know, we did say there was, but we didn't really talk about it. Throughout this movie, there was an over narration, and obviously from his perspective. But I think if he had simply done a movie about his perspective and only his perspective,
correct, not
Yeah, if it would have been the Corey, if it would
there
have
for.
been, if it had been the Corey
So
Feldman
if
story,
it was something that he saw,
Don't go where I wasn't even present for.
don't go into Haim's house. You weren't there with his parents. Just do what you saw. Do a movie about yourself. Do a movie about what you saw.
You might have a shred of credibility.
but at the same time,
But then
I'm
again,
kind of glad it
are
did
you just
happen
gonna
this
paint
way
yourself
because it
as
gives
the
you
hero?
it gives you a good window into this guy.
You know,
Yeah,
we
you
all
know
like
what?
we all would like to paint ourselves as the hero. We all would like to think, but
This is a professionally produced,
Wisdom
glossy
comes from looking at
window
yourself and
into
saying,
how
"I've
he
s-"
wants us to perceive him,
Right.
and it's bullshit.
Could be.
No, it is.
I think you're on the same page with me. That's our opinion.
It is a professionally glossed promotional
There's-
video for Corey Feldman.
There are some truthful things that happen, but there's a
and
lot
even
of
if this shit is true, you are a goddamn heartless bastard for putting the dirty laundry of your dead friend out there.
But he told me to. That's his defense.
Yeah, fuck you.
Hear me.
Fuck that shit. I
wait,
mean,
I want to see this written note.
We'll never know. We'll never know what actually happened in this. I don't think we've ever done a biopic before, like a based on real life.
I am going to go back and read the
Yeah, I
book
don't think we
now
have.
to find out what
Well, you know
he
what?
said 5-6 years ago.
Final-
Also after
I
Haim's
would love
death,
to that.
but
Well, here, finally, they had. I wanted to do this last year when we were going to do our Corey retrospective. They have finally added, I believe it's Meatballs 4 with Feldman, where he saves the summer camp.
I have that on DVD.
They've added that. We couldn't watch. It was unavailable back then. We can finally do that film. So maybe by the
yeah,
time
but is
we-
this going to taint us towards that?
well, maybe by the time we do that, you can read the book, and we'll
yeah, because I
Is
would
it-
love to know
we'll revisit Feldman.
what that book's like.
Well, here's what's going to entice you about Meatballs 4. 2 of the 27-year-old campers that are at the... One of them is an ultimate that guy from the 90s. The guy that played Donna's stalker in the senior
Nacho
year.
Renault?
Yeah. And the other is an actor who went by the name of Bo Jesse Christopher, who you remember as playing Swayze's little brother in Point Break. Oh. Those 2 guys are 2 of the campers.
If we
Brody's little brother. What's going? Wait.
if when summertime starts approaching, if we want to do a summertime movie, we do Meatballs 4. Will you have read the choreographic book by then?
Yes, I'm gonna order it.
Choreography. The choreographic.
Because I gotta tell you,
Oh, and the main counselor that Feldman works for is Jack Nance,
no,
Eraserhead.
I knew that. I knew it was
Yes.
Eraserhead, Jack Nance.
And Sarah Douglas of Superman 2 is the evil counselor
who
across
we
the
actually
lake.
partied in Vegas with the director of the Jack Nance documentary, Richard Hall.
Richard Green.
Richard Green.
Yeah, Richard Green.
Let's go to character.
Nothing fuzzes the memory. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm just going to say this. I'm open to doing Meatballs 4 in the future, but I'm very tainted on anything Corey Feldman after this movie.
Man, it's... I don't know. It's a really weird thing because...
How do you make a movie that shits and paints such an unflattering light on your supposed best friend?
I like
when
the two different points here.
When he's dead.
Your point of making the movie and what I was trying to get into, which they coincide, there's the movie and then there's the real life aspect of not naming the quote-unquote movie mogul. You're looking at it as, so what? Even if that's true, how do you still do this? I agree with you. I'm still thinking of, we've got to bring it all together.
That fucker.
How do you make the movie? Yes, but at the same time, why are you not naming the name?
No, here's the way I look at it. If you
especially right now.
If this guy, I'm sorry, if you're saying that this mystery mogul is the reason why your friend fucking went on to heroin and killed himself, then you're a fucking coward if you don't name that guy's name.
Kevin Spacey's been nominated for an Academy Award like 3 times. They reshot a movie with Christopher Plummer. They kicked him out of Hollywood.
At the end of this movie...
You're safe now to name a name.
If that was Feldman's goal, at the end of this movie, the first thing that scrolled up in the credits was, oh, by the way, Mystery Man is him. The reason I made this movie was to out this guy, because he killed my best friend.
And you see me doing this?
He didn't do that.
No, he didn't.
He just made a buck on his best friend's misery.
I'm pretty sure.
Fuck him. Fuck Corey Feldman.
You're a coward.
You're a coward, and you're an opportunist, and I don't want anything to do with you.
Hey, let's get to the bottom of it. Mark Cuban, go ahead and offer Corey Feldman legal protection, because you're a billionaire. Go ahead and do it. Offer him protection. Corey, fucking name the name.
I'll give you the bodyguards.
Call us assholes. Mark Cuban, do it. Go out there. I'm Shark Tanking you. Here's what
I'm not even saying.
If
he was really your cosmic soulmate friend, you would out him without any of that.
Correct.
You would out him without any of that.
You would
tell everybody.
I wouldn't care if somebody said to me, "You name my name, I'm going to kill you." I'd be like, you know what? I love Matt Cade. I'm telling you the name.
And this lies within the possibility. He shows within the movie he didn't fight for him then. He's not fighting for him now.
They do show in the movie he doesn't fight for him. That's Tut's biggest thing. And you know what? You're not fighting for him now. That's a great point, Yak Boy.
Great.
Hey, you know what?
Like I said,
hey, Matt Cade kills himself tomorrow. Cody Lester writes a screenplay. I have a script I want to make, a Lifetime movie about one of the top 11 cigar people in the world.
I've got some acting experience.
He's got one of the most experienced cigar palates in the universe.
Tasted popcorn where no one tasted popcorn.
I tasted buttered popcorn where nobody tasted buttered popcorn. But here's the thing, Yak Boy. This is your platform. If you know who killed Matt Cade, this is your chance to do it. And you're like, well, Pierre Steel Reserve has big money behind him.
Then again, it depends on what Peter Sullivan's demands are.
I'm scared. I don't want to name names.
Pierre.
Just so you know, I've got the 311 on this. I'm sorry, that's the 411.
No, it's the 912.
It's the 912. Oh. Well, it's whatever it is. Anyway. I walk away from this movie just having true, no true, whatever. You just did a giant disservice to your friend. And in my book, that's what the Tuesday Night Cigar is about, friends. I honestly can say I have never, ever betrayed a friend.
If anything happened to you guys, I'd be screaming the name out from the rooftops.
Well...
Come and get me, dude.
I still just go with, like I said, I don't know any.
How about just not
I
portraying
don't
me
remember. I
as
never-
a big
Even
puss
if
who would
you
just...
didn't step up at 15 and pull me out of that bathroom at 42, now's your time. You're okay.
Yeah.
You would say the name.
It's a great point. I don't blame him for what happened at 15.
I'm not
No.
like Tut. I'm not like, how could you not? Okay, past that. Now.
No, I agree. I agree with
Now
that.
you
I
say
agree with
the
that.
name. Now you have no excuse. Oh, wait, you know what? I'll gloss that over. I'll just cut him from the
By the way,
shoulders down.
and give me money for
And
this.
by the way, do I get extra money if it's an executive producer and a writing credit? When I make my friend look like a cuckold who will just go into a bathroom with anybody?
And can I have $10
Fuck
million
you.
to make a documentary?
Fuck you.
$4 million of which I'm gonna pocket.
Dude, fuck you, Corey
Yeah.
Feldman. And that's not libel or anything. That's fuck you. You're an asshole.
No, we're talking opinions. We don't know what happened. This is what we.
I know what happened in this movie, and I'm saying
Yeah.
fuck you for this movie. Agreed?
That's valid.
You
That's
kick, you
valid.
scream. You had a 3-foot bong in that room. You could have smashed it on.
I'm just saying, you beat two boys down that were trying to give you a swirly.
I still don't think it was a swirly.
What are these?
What high school did you go to?
I mean, literally, they're like, you know what? We're gonna haze you.
Hey,
In the
Mr.
butt.
Big Shot got a Hollywood movie. We're gonna take you in the bathroom and fuck you in the ass.
No, we're giving you a swirly.
All
Come
right,
on.
all right, maybe
Have we
swirl.
created a new term now? Like, here it is. Man, Tuttle had a little too much to drink last night, and I dugged him. I gave him a dug.
No.
Kate, did you go full Doug last night? Oh, yes. I went full Doug.
No.
Hey, you know what? If I went full Doug, you guys could make a movie about that.
We don't have to take our clothes off to have a good time.
shall
Oh,
not
no. It's just you and me and some cherry wine. Uh-huh.
My final words for this evening. It's been a really, really, really good show. I feel good about it. Doctor, you brought a wealth of Corey
Thank you, sir.
knowledge to the table. I asked you to come prepared, and you stepped up to the plate.
And I tell you what, I'd like to meet Corey Feldman. If he was at an autograph show, I'd like to go meet him. And I wouldn't be aggressive. I'd like to meet the guy.
Well,
I'm curious. Yeah.
my opinion
Yeah.
has changed after this movie.
Corey, you can repeat the Tuesday Night Cigar Club.
I remember you saying after our last Corey movie, like, man, I'd like to see this guy get more work. I think he has those. I don't want to see this guy get any work. I think he's an opportunist shit. I think he. If you're gonna shit on your best friend's grave like this, fuck you.
Well, I was, like I said, I was like, well,
A big pile of poop, as the doctor's written on his notes.
it's amazing because
You keep
I
poop, by
didn't
the
think
way,
I didn't think about that while I was watching the movie, but now that we've gone through this
You keep
discussion,
these,
I'm
by the
like,
way, right?
there's a reason why you're not getting people knocking on your door.
If you're gonna do this to your best friend, your two Corys, your other Corey, what the fuck are you gonna do to me when we work together? If you're gonna betray your best friend, how the hell are you gonna treat me if I hire you?
This guy's an asshole. I just wanted you to
The clue is when Carrie Fisher is giving you drug notice.
And you put that in the script.
What do you know?
I'm pretty sure-
Leia.
And I've got to say again, I don't know if that happened.
I'm pretty sure that Carrie Fisher partied so hard she woke up naked with a couple of teeth missing on the front lawn.
That's going to be a big point of contention for me. I'm going to read that book immediately. That's going to be a big point of contention. If he does not mention that in that book, which came out 6 or 7 years ago, and the only time he mentioned it was right after she died, that's a big point of
That's a
contention.
juicy thing
I think that's
to
a-
throw.
I think that's a
Corey,
really
we need
good-
something in the Lifetime movie. We got to. What do you got? Well, she's dead. I'll just put this in there.
Boom. Done.
Well, now we kind of have to do Meatballs 4 to find that out.
Sweet, sweet meatballs for.
But yeah,
It's actually an entertaining movie.
No, I've seen it. We couldn't get it earlier.
I don't think I have seen it.
Yeah, I'm very sour on Mr. Feldman, and I think justifiably so. But you know what? It led to a really good show. A great beer.
Great
Really
beer.
good beer.
It was fantastic.
Really good beer.
It earned its accolades.
It did. It was a phenomenal beer. I'm about to have my 6th.
Go ahead. You should give me one too.
I'll get you one too.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I hate to be negative, but if the Tuesday Night Cigar Club is going to be worth its weight in salt, which we are, this stogie got an 85 from me.
Well, we're going to tally up the scores later, but I actually did my scoring pre-show when I was doing the photographer.
When I was drinking inside while I put my kid to bed.
And, no. When we did our and it was a much different experience than I had actually on the show, so I'll factor that in. You know what? They're not all. Unlike Corey Feldman.
Can't all be Pappy Van
Unlike Corey
Winkles.
Feldman, let's not bend the truth. Let's just tell it how it is. The cigar.
It's a cigar.
It's a cigar.
3 out of 4 of us. I think I got a little bit more of it than you guys, but.
Well, we can't all be,
Once again,
the number
bringing in
11
his fantastic
palette of the universe.
Again, that was before I started drinking heavily.
So, Cade, I've always said that as much as I've enjoyed the acting experience, I really didn't think that I'd ever be able to do anything where I wasn't directed by you, and I still feel that way. There was one other part that was offered to me that was not going to be directed by you. The film never came to fruition. No need to name names, but I've always felt, anything good that I've done that people have praised me for, it's been when I work with you. When you wrote lines for me, or we wrote them together and you directed me in it. But I want you to know that Peter Sullivan has a script out called The Wrong Fuckmanicus. And, I'm going to need some help and some coaching, but you're not going to be involved here, so...
I'm not going to desert you. I am a Peter Sullivan fan. I will support you on The Wrong Fuckmanicus.
It's a Christmas movie.
Oh, yeah. No,
Kelly Williams of Zapped Again plays my love interest.
she's great. She is a joy.
I love her.
She's a joy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's great. I'm there for you, buddy.
It's a little more racy than more Hallmark Christmas movies.
Well, Hallmark's never really tackled the Fuckmanicus for obvious reasons.
Well, I think it's called the Frigmanicus.
But it is The Wrong Fuckmanicus, and I think that's where I can help you the best.
That's why I love you, brother. And you know what? That's why I would never, ever shit on you.
But I gotta admit, I have also been coaching Patrick Muldoon for your role, and may the best man win.
This is a tunnel we call a turn of events, and it was unexpected. And I'll tell you what, I'm a little hurt right now, but let me let you know how I get over it.
Here's how we get over things in the corner of no hope. Tuttle, give us some links.
Go ahead and hit us at TNCCcast on Twitter. Join the Facebook page, Tuesday Night Cigar Club. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Tuesday Night Cigar Club. Hit us on Instagram, TNCC_podcast.
And if God made the earth and the world in 6 days and rested on the 7th, shouldn't we finish off the Reverend's bottle?
Oh, it'll be finished within an hour. We'll do that after the credits close. That bottle's not
toast.
Not long for this earth.
Reverend, in the opposite of the Tuesday Night Cigar Club, let he who keepeth his mouth keepeth his life. So we're probably all going to die later.
Well, especially if we go out for some quesadupas and
some quesadupas,
potato Rita-Ritas.
I still want that Wisconsin butter burger.
Also,
cheeseburger with butter on it.
Also, if you're looking for some cigars, go to our website. Go to famoussmokeshop.com.
Famoussmokeshop.com.
Click on our link and go there. Go to Cigars for Warriors. Give them some money.
Cigars for Warriors.
Send our boys overseas some cigars, or at least some money to help with postage. Man, this, unlike last week, this night encapsulates the best of what we do. We take something and we talk about it to where it makes a different level of sense, if that makes any sense.
It
and you can only get to that level of sense with
Actually, you know something that's bad?
Yeah.
Huh?
As much as I hated the last show
Yeah.
that we did,
Yeah.
the fact that we could still view that vile piece of shit that was a movie
Right.
and still dissect
It was a good show.
the
was a
practical effects,
it-
still dissect the actors that were involved.
It was a good show.
Still dissect the positives of, like I said, that vile piece of shit.
It was a good
That
show.
is Tuesday Night Cigar Club.
That
I will go back to my original supposition. You can have no trauma without trauma.
you can have no trauma film without trauma.
And now we'll never watch another trauma film again.
That is well established into our canon. But tonight was what we do best. Where we just
I loved it.
dissected a Lifetime movie, and I think we did it like nobody else will ever do it. So, sums up from tonight: cigar, you guys, no go.
No.
Me, first cigar, yes. Second cigar, the beer was one of the best
Big thumbs up.
we've had in a while, man. Big
Yes.
thumbs up on this beer.
An IPA.
I'll tell you what, Bell's
on.
Brewery. After that porter, I wasn't willing to give you another chance, but I did, and I'm glad I did, man.
I don't know how you spell them, but I just can't stop drinking them.
This beer rocks. It's a great beer. We've almost drank all this Cask and Crew whiskey.
Thank you, Rev.
There's honestly,
Thank you.
There's like one glass left. Thank you, Rev Java, and thank you for joining us here on the Tuesday Night Cigar Club. We're gonna come back here, not next week with Meatballs 4, because I want Doctor back after he's read the Corey-rific, because I'm sure that will be accurate as fuck. Fuck you, Corey Feldman. I'm so anti Corey Feldman right now.
Cry, little sister.
Now you're not going to watch Lost Boys.
I'm wishing those guys that took him in the bathroom had actually done what they were gonna do.
Which was a swirly.
It wasn't a swirly. It wasn't a swirly.
It's a great song, man.
Little sister.
It's a great song.
Where's Naked Saxophone Man?
Cry. Oh, I'll still believe. Do, do, do.
This is why we are who we are. But I think, despite our feelings on Corey Feldman, and despite our feelings on anything, we can all agree on one thing. May the wings of liberty never lose a feather. Sayonara, motherfuckers. We'll see you next week.
You know, folks, it really frustrates me how no one at the Lifetime channel will read any of my screenplays. So if you'd like to see My Cousin is Stalking My Ex-Wife, or the hard-hitting but super sexual sequel, Deadly Grandma, The Stalking of Dolores Peterson, please dial up the know-it-alls at the Lifetime Network and tell them to give your buddy Keith A. Howell a shot. I've also written a story treatment about a dog that's stalking a high school cheerleader called Lethal Paws, Nightmare at the Homecoming Dance. But I think maybe Animal Planet might be a better home for that particular project. Anywho, in the meantime, to learn more about the cigars and libations enjoyed on tonight's episode, www.isabelacigarcompany.com and www.bellsbeer.com. For more on O'Brien's Irish Pub, the live music leader in Central Texas, please visit o'brienstemple.com and download their free smartphone app, where you'll find full beer listings including over 40 on tap, menu information, and a calendar of upcoming live events. To listen and purchase music heard on tonight's program, check out www.fritzbeermusic.com. Thank you for listening to the Tuesday Night Cigar Club podcast. This is Keith A. Howell saying until next time, friends, unless we see you sooner at the pub. So keep it smoky, and for God's sake, keep it ballsy as well.